All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Saturday, February 27th, 2021, and wanted to talk about a future that we have time to think about with regards to tennis. Only two men in history have won all four of the major Grand Slam events in a single year. One man did it in two separate years, but there's only been two people who've won all four Grand Slam events. And I think there's a very real possibility that Novak Djokovic, who just won the first of the Grand Slams, the Australian Open, I think there's a real chance that he does win all four this year, and we're going to talk about why and the greater symbolism of it. I think his biggest threat, though, is the upcoming tournament at the French Open. Rafael Nadal, you could make a good argument for him to win this event. But I think if you see Djokovic win the French Open, I think he's going to win Wimbledon and the U.S. Open as well. So we're going to talk about why. And just on a bigger thought before we get into Novak Djokovic and why he might win all four this year to get his 21st major in the year 21, which is what he would accomplish if he won all four. He won his 18th at the Australian Open. And realize, if Federer won one more, he'd get to 21. If Nadal won one more, he'd get to 21. So what would be interesting is if Djokovic swept and passed Federer and Nadal and got to 21 before them, even though he started this year coming in with 17. And you might recall the last time that we did work on tennis, it was a very clear ritual for Djokovic. We said it was a no-brainer that he would win his 16th major at Wimbledon 53 days after his birthday, because 53 is the 16th prime. And that's exactly what he did at Wimbledon that year, 53 days after his birthday. He won it, and he got his 16th major. And again, 53 is the 16th prime. The Australian Open that was just played was the 53rd Australian Open all time. And there's been plenty of riddles with Djokovic in 53 over the years. So this was the perfect event for him to win to start. And we're going to talk about the start date of the tournament because there's something that's very interesting there. But outside of the numbers, see, I'm writing a book right now, and I've been doing some research on Serbia. And that's where Djokovic is from. Let me put all this together. Okay, so Nikola Tesla. Do you remember how Elon Musk passed Nikola Tesla? Elon Musk earlier this year passed Jeff Bezos for the wealthiest man in the world on January 7th, 2021, which was the 78-year anniversary of the death of Nikola Tesla. Tesla was this, technology man, advanced with electricity, all sorts of stuff. And he came out of Serbia like Novak Djokovic. He's also from Serbia. So that's the connection here between Tesla and Djokovic. But to start the year, there's a big Tesla ritual. And on that day, Elon Musk, who owns the company Tesla, becomes the richest man in the world on the 78-year anniversary when, again, Tesla and Jesuit are 78. So just the other day, big ritual with sports superstar. Here, you guys need to know this too. Tiger Woods, his car wreck was on the 54th day of the year. Tiger Woods equals 54. It was his 56th day of his age. Society of Jesus is 56. And remember, 56 is the big number we're looking at for the NBA Finals. If you missed the work on the NBA future, I'm going to bring all this together for you here in a moment. But if you missed the work we did on the NBA future before the season began, we said why it looked good for a Lakers-Nets championship. And that was before Harden went to the Nets. Again, it's because it's a big 56 ritual. LeBron can become 5-6 in finals. The finals start on a 56-date numerology. It's the hottest number in everything right now. And the 56th NBA season was the Lakers versus the Nets. So Tiger just got injured a day after coaching up Dwayne Wade, who called him the GOAT, like LeBron called himself the GOAT, like Brady's now the GOAT. But a day after coaching up Dwayne Wade, Tiger Woods supposedly in this bad accident by the numbers. Now, again, it was on Woods' 56th day of his own age that it happened. And the start of the finals, the NBA Finals, July 8th, 2021, notice from the day of the accident, February 23rd, to the day of the finals is 135 days. And Tiger Woods is 135 both ways, just like Tiger Woods is 54 forwards and backwards, happened on the 54th day of the year. So again, this ritual of GOATs, right? LeBron's the GOAT right now in the NBA, Tiger, golf, Brady, football, Dwayne Wade, LeBron's old teammate. But remember, the day that Tiger Woods got hurt, the big headline was that Carrie Woods, an investor, invested $120 million of her money into Tesla. And again, Tesla's the electric car company that wants to build safer self-driving vehicles that'll be much safer than humans, which are prone to error. So again, you have these themes going on between news and sports. And down in Houston, again, weeks in advance, we circled why Valentine's Day looked like it could be the blackout day for the Great Reset. This thing has been forecast all year. We had Valentine's Day pinned. It ended up being Houston that got the worst of it, which makes so much sense because it's the big energy capital. And then at the same time, the athlete J.J. Watt, like Watt's energy power, Watt wants out of town along with Deshaun Watt's son. So they're doing this thing with electricity, right? And then the upcoming NFL season, the Super Bowl is going to be in the Chargers building. You know, Vincent Jackson just died, who played for the Bucs, but first played for the Chargers on the 44-64 date that just passed. A former Charger died that day. And so anyway, there's this big theme with electricity, right? So if you go back and research the history of electricity, it's kind of, well, again, a lot of people say it was really Tesla and coming out of Austria where they had these advancements. Austria had this advancement in technology like electricity. That's Serbia, right? So that's Djokovic's country. And again, realize these New World Order rituals, you know, these big international tennis matches, a lot of times they're paying tribute to what's going on in the news themes, history. So I'm thinking, okay, there's something with Serbia and electricity. These are all big Jesuit rituals. Again, Jesuit orders 54, just like Tiger Woods. But if you missed the other post I did on this, check it out. But again, something big's going on here, right? Something big's going on here with these rituals. So I'm thinking, okay, Djokovic, he's the biggest name in the sport. And again, I apologize that we didn't decode the Australian Open because we could have decoded it in 5 seconds. Anybody who's followed this might have bet on Djokovic to win the Australian Open. Again, if you watch my TFR episode 2 weeks before the Australian Open happened, somebody called in and thought it was going to be Rafael Nadal who won. And I said, well, I'm not looking at it. But I said, you better decode Djokovic because they seem to code everything around him right now. And I wish that person had just mentioned it was the 53rd Australian Open because I know that's his number. But anyway, since I just see how the year begins that way with his number that comes up again and again in his career and a few other things I'm going to show you, and just the whole electricity theme and him being from the right country. Because again, if you research the history of electricity, some people contend it did come out of the Austrian Empire, which is where Serbia is, which is where Tesla was from. So there could just be something about that. Again, the Great Reset, the Darkest Winter, just the themes, 9/11, Patriot Act, Patriots, right? Carolinas get in trouble for the bathroom bill. They lose the All-Star game, but then they dominate college basketball. Katrina, flooding, then they win a Super Bowl. Houston, flooding, then they win a World Series. So, again, just to go over Djokovic's win on February 21st at the 53rd Australian Open. His name is 53 forward, 73 in reverse. And now remember, 73 is a big theme this year too, because 73 is the 21st prime. Like Tampa, Florida's 73, and Brady became 7-3 playing for the Tampa team in his 21st season. So Djokovic has some right numbers here. And keep in mind, he won this on the 21st of February, right? And if he wins every major this year, he'll be the third player to ever win all 4 men's singles Grand Slams in a single year. It's only been done by 2 men. One guy did it 2 times. So, again, on the 21st, that big Jesuit number. And the next tournament's the most iffy, because I could make an argument for Nadal in the next one. But if he gets past Nadal in the French Open, which is the home of the Jesuits, I think he's going to do it. So that can be your strategy. And I'll do more research on this. You have time to do more research. The French Open's not till June 6th. But if you want to come up with a strategy, because I bet you it's a good payout if you can get a future in for Djokovic to win, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open, that's got to pay something. That's a very rare accomplishment in sports. But you could also think about a strategy, because there is a chance Nadal wins the French Open, and then it would bust that. But that's why we're going to start talking about this now, and we'll keep talking about other futures and do these discussions every so often. And again, once I'm done with writing the new book, I'll get back to this, doing a lot more sports decoding throughout the days of the week. But I really think this is a good example of something we can study. We got time to research as a community and maybe make some big connections here that'll really help us with the rest of the sports seasons. But Osaka's also interesting. Yeah, we'll save her for another time. But she had a big ritual herself. And something else I need to research is YouTube. When I made this video, it just stayed on 275 views. Like, it was there like right after I posted it, and then it just stayed there. Like, this ticked by. Like, at 4 minutes, it had 275 views. At 5 minutes, 275 views. I think it was like 3 minutes later, it finally moved. But I was like, they kept it on 275 views for a big block of time. And he won this thing 275 days after his birthday. So sometimes I feel like YouTube's trying to tell me things. Like, okay, I need to figure out what the 275 is about with this. But anyway, it starts with the 53rd Australian Open. The last time he won the Australian Open was 2016. Again, like how he got his 16th major 53 days after his birthday at Wimbledon the other year. Again, that was just a no-brainer call. That was one of those free ones. That 53-16 is a deadly combo, just like in Super Bowl 53, 16 points were scored. But here, to go over the information we have so far. So I've compiled this sheet. You guys have the link to it. And, the 53rd Australian Open passed. So now we have the French Open coming up. It's the 125th. We have the 134th Wimbledon, the 141st U.S. Open. So the dates are up here. All that information's here. I linked some related posts just to start with the Grand Slam season. And right now the leader list for the men is Federer with 20 and Nadal with 20. And again, Djokovic starts the year by getting his 18th. Remember, the Jesuit acronym IHS is 18. 18. So that's interesting that in 21 he starts with 18, and if he swept and won 3 more, he'd get to 21. And again, his name has that 73 connection, the 21st prime. Starts with the 53rd Australian Open. So what else stood out to me is the Australian Open began on his 263rd day of his age. That's the 56th prime number. And remember, the next event's in Paris, France, the land of 56. Paris, France is 56. Society of Jesus is 56. These big Jesuit rituals, like the Jesuit ritual with Tesla from Serbia. But when you write out 3 as a word, it also equals 56, like Abrahamic's 56, and there's 3 Abrahamic religions. So there's this relationship with 3 and 56. Again, light's 56, 3's 56, the third verse of Genesis, light. But he could become the 3rd man to win all 4 events in a year. And he's going to turn 34 in the middle of it, which is also interesting. So I'm just thinking, okay, he's going to turn 34. Brady just won LV. Remember, LV's 34 with English, like he got his 34th playoff win in that game. So those things are very interesting. And in terms of the birthdays, the French Open will begin 1 day after his birthday. It begins May 23rd. He's going to turn 34 on May 22nd. France equals 34. So it's interesting how his birthday is right before that event. And then the French Open ends 15 days after his birthday. You could also say his 16th day of his age. And remember, his name equals 53, which is the 16th prime. And that date that the French Open ends, June 6th, that will be a date with 53 numerology. 6 plus 6 plus 20 plus 21 is 53. Like Novak Djokovic is 53. It's the 16th prime. Again, it ends on his 16th day of his age. Or you could say 15 days after his birthday, and it'll be 15 weeks after he won the Australian Open. So I'm not so sure about how the 15 thing fits in, but the 53-16 thing really does. So again, I think you see him win this one, and that's something else you could do if you're torn on, because again, Nadal dominates this event. Nadal has dominated this event, and his next win, his next major is 21. He could get that on the June 6th, 6-6 D-Day. Again, 21's the 6th triangular number, but I'm telling you, if he wins this and Nadal doesn't, I think that's the sign that he'll win the last 2 events. So you could even, if it's too close to call, you could sit it out, and you could probably still get a good parlay in for him just to even win those last two events. Because again, it's very rare for somebody to win all 4 Grand Slams in a year. So the numbers for Wimbledon, I didn't see the typical Wimbledon numbers there. I didn't really see the U.S. Open ends 113 days after his birthday. That's always a magical number. It's also his 114th day of his age. History's 114. That's always LeBron James's number, but I don't know if there's a connection there. But really, it could just be about the year 21, getting the 21st win, something about Jesuit control of history, the year of blackouts, great reset, electricity, him being from Serbia, the land of Tesla, where the year begins with the big Tesla ritual. So again, I'm just trying to think big picture with this. And for Nadal, what's interesting for Nadal is the Australian Open ended 263 days after his birthday, which is the 56th prime. And I have a feeling the caller who really liked Nadal when they called in, and I said, you better look up Djokovic. And I hadn't even done any research. I just know that they like to script stuff for the Joker. But they must have saw that right away, because the Australian Open did end on a fitting date. But for Joker, it started on that date rather than end on that date. And the French Open is right after... The French Open ends. It begins just before his birthday and ends right after his birthday. He's going to turn 35, that big Catholic number in Paris, France, the Jesuit stronghold. Did I? Hold on. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, and the U.S. Open is on his 36th day of his age. That's that's for Federer. I skipped down. So Federer's got the 36 connection with the U.S. Open. That's just a tennis number. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards right now what I anticipate is that Djokovic could sweep. He was also the big tennis star who got the COVID by the numbers. Hold on, we should actually go back and look at that. Let's just see how that lines up with things. I remember that he was one of the celebrities that had a COVID story. Coronavirus. Announced they have coronavirus June 23rd. So that was 23/6. Let's see. That was 33 days after his 33rd birthday. Again, he's from Serbia. He'd just done the Adria Tour event, which is a 33. Then News went on a date with 33 numerology. Yeah, he had that 152, and it was everywhere. Joe Biden was 152. That was one of the things we were talking about with Biden. But here, let's just see how that lined up with the Australian Open real quick. I should have done this already, but we'll just do it in real time. So it was June 23rd, 2020 that happened. He won the French Open February 21st, 2021. 243 days later. That's a CIA number. I don't know if they got the Serbs under the CIA control too. They very well might. It would have been his 244th day of his age. The United States of America. Oh, you know what? This happened just before the U.S. turned 244. Turned 244 years old on July 4th, 2020. So I'm just thinking about that. The last event's the U.S. Open. Okay, so June 23rd. And then the next one will be June 6th. Let's see if there's any amazing synchronicity with any of this. And then Wimbledon ends July 11th. 383 days is the 76th prime. Okay, and then the last event ends September 12th, the U.S. Open. 446 days or a span of 447. Oh, hold on. That's a span of 64 weeks, too, if you count the span. And... Or no. Is it not? What did I just say? No, it's not. But it's 447 days. Again, I'll think about more of these things because there could be something I'm missing with it. But he did have that big coronavirus thing. And remember, they ended up canceling Wimbledon because of COVID. I think they hadn't done that since World War II, if I remember right. But yeah, I just got some of the gematria up here, things to think about. You know what? I'm realizing something that I should have put here now. I see something. Because again, a lot of times the ritual in the big event kind of foretells if it's connected to the next event. So I see something now that I was overlooking. Where did I just mark it at? Or no, maybe I'm wrong again. Shoot. Never mind. I take it back. I was thinking it ended on his 277th day of his age, but it was one day short. 277 is the 59th prime, and the next event has the 59 connection. But yeah, there's the numbers are here for this. A lot of base stuff. There might be stories that pop up between now and then, COVID related or otherwise. But again, you might catch a ritual that they do with one of these guys between now and the French Open, and could give us greater insight. But right now, I really do think that Djokovic has a chance to get to 21 this year and just exert his dominance. Realize he's more in the physical prime of his life. Nadal is a little bit older. You'd rather be closer to 30 than closer to 40. So Nadal's a little bit older, and then Federer's on the verge of turning 40. And I remember the way he laid down for Djokovic at Wimbledon when he won it by the numbers. So it just kind of feels like they want Djokovic to be this. He's already a big name, but I mean, just maybe even do things that nobody else has done before. So have the history. What I did for the histories of these tournaments is I only went back as far as either Federer, Nadal, or Djokovic won it. And in all the cases, it's Federer or Nadal because they were the big names on the scene before Djokovic came along. But the Australian Open, you can see Federer won it in 2004. Before that, it was just a different guy. And, Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, their names really dominate the list for all these tournaments. So that was the Australian Open. Djokovic, he's done well. He's won it 3 straight times there now, starting it this year. Won it in 2016, again, 53, the 16th prime. But there's probably something more to think about, too, with just how many times they've won each tournament. I'll be analyzing this stuff a lot more, but I just wanted to get the ball moving for this. And then the French Open, who Nadal could win his 21st major at on the 6th, where 21 is the 6th triangular number. I mean, just look at his name. His name just really fills out this, going back to 2005. I mean, look at that. That is dominance. Federer's got one here. Djokovic won it in 16. So remember, 53, the 16th prime, right? Djokovic in 16 won the Australian Open and then the French Open. Could be a repeat of those two things. But Nadal's won it 4 straight years. And then Wimbledon, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. The only other name sneaking in there is Andy Murray, who survived the Dunblane school massacre. But there was no Wimbledon last year. Djokovic had won the last 2. The last one we covered was that 53-16 ritual. And this one, the U.S. Open. Again, Federer, dominance. Nadal's got his name up there. Djokovic has his name up there. You notice in this tournament, there's a few other names more than the other tournaments. This is one that they've done the worst at as a collective team, but it's still mostly their name. So the other thing to think about is another possible scenario is like if Djokovic doesn't sweep this year to get to 21, which I really do think that's my favorite narrative right now. But it's possible that if it's not going to be that way, Federer could get 1 this year and get to 21, and so could Nadal. So they both hit 21 in this year. But I just kind of like the narrative of Djokovic creeping past him and being the first 221, starting it with 18. And you know what? The last time he won the U.S. Open was 2018, just because he got his 18th to start this year. This is the final event. The last time he won the U.S. Open, the final of the Grand Slams, last time he won it was 2018. He also won it in 15 and 11. So, and again, look this up, has any tennis player won all 4 Grand Slams in a single year? In men's singles, this was done 3 times, once by Don Budge in 38. So that was 83 years before 2021, and twice by Rod Lever in 62 and 69. So it's been 52 years since the last time it happened. 52. And, well, you know what? You know what else it would actually be? It is 52 years later, but if you count 69 as well, it's a span of 53 years. Because again, from 69 to 2021 is 52 years later, right? But if you count the year 69 itself through 2021, that's a span of 53 years, which again is that Novak Djokovic number. And he did start the year he won the first Grand Slam at the 53rd Australian Open. So, and he's that magic age of 33 too, right? You know, that's a magical number. He's got that 73 as well, again, the 21st prime. That's why the ritual feels pretty right. So I got guys Gematria up here. I'm sure there's a lot more to catch than I've already caught. But again, just the big world picture. Sports, electricity, they're clearly doing something with that with Houston and Watt and Watson. Super Bowl coming up in the Chargers building. And just the whole Tesla stock thing at the beginning of the year. Even still really going on right now. The Tiger Woods thing was connected to Tesla. Sports, Tesla, electricity, Serbia, where Tesla's from, and Djokovic. So kind of thinking big world picture since we're talking about international tennis. And again, might want to research the odds, see what a parlay would do with Djokovic winning all three of the remaining majors. I got to imagine, not a bad percentage payout, because that is a pretty rare feat. And also, if you do know something like books aren't paying out much on it, again, that can be disappointing, but then things like that are assigned too. It's like, well, wait a minute. Should be paying more than that. That's like the year. I rarely ever use the term guarantee with the future, even though we've done very well. But the year that the Cubs won the World Series, I guaranteed in spring training that they would do it. And one of the big signs beyond just the numbers was that Vegas was paying nothing on it. The Westgate Sportsbook down in Vegas was paying 2-1 on the Cubs winning the World Series before the season began. I mean, you can get better odds betting on a game that night. You know what I mean? Wait all year just to get 2-1. So, anyhow, there's that. And just to remind how they cross over sports, where's it at? Where's Osaka? Osaka. She won her 21st straight match, right? Her 21st straight match to start 21. And it was the number 3 seed versus the number 22 seed, 3-2-2, like Skull and Bones. The match was on 20/2, February 20th, the day before the Djokovic match. Her birthday is the day leaving, 76 days left in the year. Skull and Bones, 76, like Jennifer Brady, whose name's also 220, like how February 20th can be written 220 as well. And again, just the whole Brady thing. Remember, Skull and Bones equals 149. Tom Brady got his 149th career home win in Super Bowl 55, exactly 149 months after Carl Scheffer's worked his first game, where Brady beat the Chiefs 17-10. Like 17's the 7th prime. He gets his 7th ring. 17-10, 27 points. The game on 2-7. And remember, Saturn. Saturn equals 21 as well. Saturn has 7 rings, the planet. Brady gets his 7th ring in 21 in his 21st season. Saturn equals 21 and 93. The Chiefs have now allowed 93 points in the 4 Super Bowls they've been in. So again, just looking at big world themes. What's the symbolism? And again, electricity is a thing, and that makes me think Tesla, which makes me think Serbia, which makes me think Djokovic. And again, just this whole J.J. Watt thing. J.J. Watt wants to leave Houston. And remember, Watt's birthday is 3/22. And remember, this whole thing came 322 days. Is it up here? This is the wrong post. That's the wrong... Oh, Klaus Schwab. Again, this was the thing we were looking at weeks in advance with Valentine's Day. That it was 322 days after Klaus Schwab's birthday, who declared the Great Reset and used the language of the darkest winter. And the Great Reset and power outage have the same gematria as Valentine's Day. So, again, big themes. It's also 46 weeks after Schwab's birthday. Houston, Texas, the energy capital, 46. Again, the Travis Scott thing. There's a few other things here that are synced up with it if you didn't see my work on this. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. And with regards to how central Houston is right now and people wanting out of Houston, again, I'm going to do a lot more research on the Baseball World Series. Ben had the really great thought on the how they're doing the game at the Angels in the outfield thing, and it's very interesting. But honestly, if I had to pick a future right now for the World Series, it would be Dodgers in the NL versus the Toronto Blue Jays in the AL. And again, the reason why is really straightforward. It's going to be the 117th World Series. Dodgers is 117. Toronto's that big 117 city. You see how Toronto's 117? Remember who they played in a championship last? The Golden State Warriors, 117. Del Curry played for the Raptors. His son plays for the Warriors. Steph Curry met his wife in Toronto. But just how the Toronto has the 117 connection, like who they played, why not in the 117th World Series, Toronto versus the Dodgers? Especially since a big Houston sports star, again, George Springer, who's easily one of the biggest names in baseball right now, left for Toronto. Houston leaves their star player, going to this team. Toronto's got that. They got Vladimir Guerrero's son, and so they were a team that played with some promise last year. They competed here and there. So I could see them turning the corner. And it wasn't that many years ago that they were just in the AL championship against the Royals. That was the year of the 111th World Series. And remember that, too. Kansas City Royals and Toronto Blue Jays have that same gematria. Kansas City Royals, 2-1-2. Toronto Blue Jays, 2-1-2. They end up playing New York, 2-1-2 area code. Again, the AL championship was the Royals and the Blue Jays. The Royals won and played the New York Mets in the 111th World Series. New York 111, and that was another one we had right from spring training that New York would be there. So just right now, knowing that George Springer left Houston with all these things relating to Houston and went to Toronto the year of the 117th World Series, again, that makes a lot of sense to me. And again, just to revisit the things we've talked about so far, futures that we're on, still really like the Lakers over the Nets. Think that's what it's going to be. And I'm sure the Nets will be the favorite when the series starts. Lakers over Nets with the 56 ritual. Again, the 56th NBA season was Lakers over Nets. LeBron can become 5-6 in finals on the finals that start on the 56th date in numerology. Again, Tiger Woods on his 56th day of his age, injured 135 days before the start of the finals. This whole GOAT thing, these sports riddles. And again, this happened in LA, right? This happened in LA. So... And keep in mind, Genesis, he was driving a Genesis. He was down there for the Genesis golf tournament. Genesis is 78. The finals start on 7-8. You know what I mean? See how Genesis is 78, 33. Hold on. Yeah, it is 78 and 33. So NBA finals and Genesis both have that going on. And I still really like the thought about them playing the Phoenix Suns as well. I said that's before the season began. I said that's my favorite scenario for the Western Conference Finals this year. Then Paul Westphal died by the numbers, but Phoenix Suns are the only team that have the pure connection to 56 in the West. So I could see a Suns-Lakers Western Conference Finals. It might not be that. The Lakers might just go through the Suns at some point in the playoffs, but the Western Conference Finals could make a lot of sense. And then Lakers over Nets in the finals. College basketball, still really like the Gonzaga. Here, let me just put that up here. You guys got to see that in case you missed it. On the 54th day of the year, the day that Tiger Woods supposedly got injured. Whoops. Tiger Woods, Gonzaga. Why is that not coming up? Let's do it this way. 1 second. Again, Kathy Woods invests all the money in Tesla the day Tiger Woods is injured in the Genesis car crash. Should have had one of those electric, self-driving, safer cars. Okay. So Tiger Woods, again, on the 54th day of the year, this happens, driving the Genesis GV80, Jesuit numbers all over the place. But on the same day that happened, Sports Illustrated put out their magazine, The Program, with Gonzaga on the cover. Might want to research who these players are and see what their jersey numbers add up to. But they put out this headline, The Program. Remember, this year the championship's in Indianapolis, which has that 201 gematria like the Jesuit order. And Anyway, putting it out on on the 54th day of the year when the championship's on 5/4 in Indianapolis. All this stuff going on the same day. Huge 54 ritual here. So I still really like that. And then remember, they had Michigan parked on a 13-1 record. They had the Michigan team parked on that big 13-1 record for how many weeks? It was like for 3 weeks. They were just stuck there, not playing for COVID, just stuck on 13-1. And again, year after year, we just see how they do a big ritual in sports with 131. Remember, championships 131. When you write out Super Bowl, it's 131. When you write out 57, the other championship-related number is 131. And from Juwan Howard's birthday, February 7th, to the championship date is 57 days later. Juwan Howard, his birthday was the day of the Super Bowl that Brady won, who also went to Michigan. And remember, Juwan Howard's full name, not Juwan Howard, whatever his middle name is. Here, let me look him up. His middle name, Juwan Antonio Howard, his full name is 82, just like how this is the 82nd college season. And remember the video we did a few weeks back, how perfect Mark Few lines up with the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan Wolverines has that 98 and 100 in its gematria. The Final Four day is Mark Few's 98th day of his age. The championship days is 100th day of his age. Mark Few's the coach at Gonzaga. So if him and the Wolverines advanced in the Final Four and then met in the championship, it'd all be synced through him. And he's been the main storyline because, again, when the college basketball season, just before it got underway, AP ranked Gonzaga number 1 in the nation. First time ever, Gonzaga was number 1 out of the gate. ESPN's story that day was, the only thing Mark Few has left to accomplish now is win a championship game. It's the only thing he hasn't done as a coach. So it feels like the narrative flows through him this year. Again, it's 21, right? It's the Jesuit year. Gonzaga's the Jesuit program. Remember, Michigan has that gematria 46, like Catholics 46. And I remember when Jim Harbaugh, he went to Michigan. Or, excuse me, yeah, he did go to Michigan, and he was coaching Michigan. But Jim Harbaugh went to the Vatican and met Pope Francis with his wife, and then the next day, his tight end was supposed to be drafted in the first round in the NFL. Jake Butt, the tight end, Catholic jokes, but Jake Butt fell to the 145th overall pick, and you see how Catholics 71 and 145, and then the Denver Broncos 71 took him. So again, we've seen these Catholic Jesuit rituals with the use of the school of Michigan, which is not a Jesuit school, but the point I'm making is we've already seen them do this stuff with Michigan, so why not in a Jesuit year playing a Jesuit program, kind of another Catholic joke, all synced up. And again, the biggest thing for me with Michigan is just how long they kept them on the 13-1 record. And don't forget, they improved to 14-1 on Valentine's Day, which we called out the day before it was played in our Patreon live stream. We said, Michigan on Valentine's Day? I mean, getting to 14-1 after sitting on 13-1 forever, that just looks like the ritual. And sure enough, it was. So, and by the way, you guys, that Public Enemy album, What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down, that shows Arizona on the cover. Arizona is the Valentine's state because its birthday is Valentine's Day. The grid goes down on Valentine's Day, 142 days after the album came out, 14/2 like Valentine's Day. So again, just that whole electricity theme, entertainment, sports. For the main topic, that's why I think Djokovic, just in addition to being number 1, with a chance to do something that's rarely been done, it's been a span of 53 years in the year starting with the Australian Open. And do keep that in mind. If he did not accomplish that this year, he might very well do it next year, because next year would be 53 years after the last time it happened. And again, that's Djokovic's number. So even if Djokovic doesn't do it this year, next year would be a very real possibility. But this year, 21, 2021, he can get to 21. That's hard to ignore. So, okay, so we covered our early thoughts on tennis. Plenty of time to do more research, more digging, more connections. Again, the next big event's June 6th. So we have pretty much all of March, April, May, and a week into June to see if we can come up with some gold to really cement it. So we have that, and that'll be taking place around the same time the NBA Finals will be getting close. They start July 8th. And remember the way they do riddles crossing sports. So, but anyway, we got our March Madness future, Gonzaga over Michigan. We got our NBA future, Lakers over Nets. You can think about tennis right now. Again, there's plenty of time to do a few more stones I want to turn over before get heavier on that. But right now, I think that's the direction to be looking. If there was any team in the NL that could upset the Dodgers, it would be the Braves again, because the Braves ballpark has the 117 connection. But I really think it's going to be an era of dominance with the Dodgers. And yeah. The NASCAR thing, some of you guys went and did some additional research looking for the Super Bowl connections for other drivers, and some of you guys found that Love's car on Valentine's Day, and to you guys, congratulations. That car paid 100-1. Again, you guys, we only, like I told you, it was a half-assed decode. We only looked at the top racer, but some people took the knowledge, and they noticed that the Love's car, and maybe you guys caught it in the discussions, because again, people are, they're starting discords, they're talking on the Free to Find Truth group, they're posting on the Free to Find Truth wall. But some people saw that Love's car, the driver, it was 55 days from his birthday to the race. And we said to look for a Super Bowl 55 connection. Man, that Love's car. I wish somebody had called in about it during the live stream. But again, to those of you who went and found that, congratulations. Job well done. A $1 bet on that car paid $100. Love's car on Valentine's Day, 55 days from the driver's birthday. And then the other funny thing was he drove the 34 car. Remember, LV's 55 in Roman numerals, 34 in English. Brady got his 34th career playoff win in Super Bowl 55. And that's what I mean. That's how they sync up these sports. And again, sometimes, there was all that stuff there for Hamlin, the top racer. He had the Tampa connection. He had the right numbers that showed up with Tampa all year. And he did set some mark in the race, like most, Daytona laps in first place all time. So he had a ritual with the thing. He finished in the top 5. But again, that's why it pays to do the extra homework and turn over the additional stones. If you went through, you might have said, Love's car on Valentine's? That makes him, oh, wow, it's 55 days from the driver's birthday. And again, NASCAR is not my sport. I didn't even realize there was a Love's car. But again, that's how they do it, you guys. That's why a lot of times the riddles are so surface level. They're just so surface level. They're just right in your face. But the Super Bowl connection was there, and just the surface level Loves thing. And, the other night I had a guy email me, and he was all mad because the Lakers did not become, or what was it? The Jazz did not become 25-7 against the Lakers on the 55th day of the year. And based on how mad he was in his email, I bet he, made a substantial bet on that game, because he was really mad at me, even though I didn't decode the game. But he was mad at me because he learned this knowledge. So I understood where he was coming from, because he's like, how could the Jazz not fall to 25-7 against the Lakers on the 55th day of the year when Los Angeles Lakers is 257, the 55th prime? And then he went and did a little more homework, and he found out that what actually happened in that game is LeBron ended up getting his 55th career loss with the Lakers on the 55th day of the year with the team that equals 257, the 55th prime. And the Jazz, Big Al saw that game too, and Big Al stayed away from it because he learned earlier what I told him. You got to watch out for those Jesuit numbers. The Jazz became 26-6, and remember, Isus Hominum Salvator is 266. The big Jesuit motto, Pope Francis is the 266th Pope. So, again, there was a riddle going both ways, and that's what can be frustrating, right? Because it's like, come on, how do they not do the 25-7 thing? Oh, shit, LeBron can get his 55th career loss, too. That's why I always tell you guys, never bet the house. Sometimes the riddle that looks the most amazing and is the best, there might be 7 games you like in the day. And the one that looks the very best, that might be the only out of the 7 that fails, and you'll just be mystified. You'll be like, okay, my other 6 games came through, but why didn't this 7th game? Man, that was my favorite of the day. And we've said that many a times. But that's why I tell you guys, don't bet the house. Just play consistent, because sometimes there might be another riddle that's right there, maybe not quite as obvious, but then you catch afterwards, you're like, man, wish I would have known that before the game. And realize sometimes the games really are double coded, and maybe sometimes they decide what script they're going to go with based on how much the public money is. That's the other thing. So, again, you guys, don't bet the house. Sometimes the surest looking thing is the one that fails. But if you just stay consistent with the knowledge, if you just maintain a budget and just stay on the path and stay with the knowledge, you're going to win a lot more often than not. Of course, there will be disappointing days because, your 25-7 sure shot game, it kills you that day. But again, that's why you don't go out and bet the house on anything. You just stay consistent and you just stay building. You don't try to become an overnight millionaire. Tortoise and the hare, the nursery rhyme as a child. The tortoise wins the race of life because the tortoise just stays consistent, doesn't try to do too much at once, just knows what it can do and just does it day after day and doesn't quit. The hare thinks just get way ahead, but that's just not the way it is, Just day after day, build. So those are the thoughts I wanted to share for today. Going to do a lot more work on all of this. And again, I'm thinking we're going to do another live stream next weekend on baseball. As I get further on the book, I might come back to once a week talking about futures and other things going on, taking questions. But it's not going to be until I'm done with the book that I start going back and just doing daily sports decoding because it takes so much time. It's just there's not enough hours in the day to do it all right now. But we can do these future discussions and plan for the future because that's where we've done our best anyway, the future's knowledge. Okay, with that said, since I'm done with my piece, I am going to open the phone line and take some calls here. So it is the number on the screen, 509-560-4982, and the line should be open. So remember, when you call in, just mute your video as it gets picked up so we don't hear the relay. Because your guys' video is like on a 20 to 30 second delay normally from where I am in the video. So when you call in, just mute your video, just talk through the phone. And then once you're done with the live call, you can just go right back to the video. You'll probably catch your own voice because, again, it's on that delay. All right, so the first call is coming from Mexico.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Mexico?
It's Billy Hay.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I was wondering, since this fight, I'm not sure if you keep your eye on the WBC in terms of the fight and the boxing. The fight is coming up in like 15 minutes. I was wondering if you had anything on the Canelo Urimi. I think that's the other boxer's name. I was wondering if you had anything on that.
I didn't. All right, so it's Canelo Alvarez versus Avni Yodarim or something like that.
Correct.
Well, I can look real quick and just see if there's anything in their record. Do you know what their records are?
No, I'm down here in Mexico. That's the reason why I'm asking about it, because it's a lot of things up for that. So I was just wondering, what I don't even know what I should have looked up his record, Canelo's record, because that's probably a key to what if he'll win or not, because he usually wins.
Canelo usually wins. Yeah, I want to check all this stuff because sometimes these stats that Google throws up right away. Here, let me see. BoxRec's normally legit. BoxRec has Avni Yildirim at 21-2. I have seen a lot of that 2-2-2, so that's just got me wondering right away. Let me see what they got. Canal, or no, is his? No, he's not Saul Alvarez. How come that's not coming up? Gotta find the other guy's record. Canelo is not the same as Saul. No, that can't be. Why is he coming up but not Canelo? Or I guess it is him. This is the same person. Saul Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez. Is that right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is because it shows they got this
Canelo
fight today.
Alvarez.
Okay, so it shows he's.
Canelo.
Okay, so he's 54-1-2. So his next win is 55. Have these guys fought before?
Say it again.
Have they fought before? Or is this the first meeting of these two guys?
I don't. think so.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I'd have to decode the fight, so and I'm trying to see if his birthday's on here. Didn't they used to have their birthdays on those website? Career, birth name, birthplace. Okay, for some reason, it doesn't seem to have. Let's see, Canelo's birthday. Here. His birthday's July 18th. Hold on, I'm checking it. Just see how it lines up here real quick. July 18th, 2020 to today. It's 224 days after his birthday. The Society of Jesus is 224, 32 weeks. Okay, there's that. And then, let me see this Avni. I'm looking up the other guy's birthday real quick. I just want to see if their birthdays, anything screams out about it. His birthday's August 5th. His birthday's 5/8. Can be written. Today's the 58th day of the year. August 5th. He's 29. August 5th to today. It's 206 days after his birthday. 206. That means his upcoming birthday's in 159 days. His upcoming birthday's in 141 days. Here, let me see their names. If anybody's name syncs up with what the win-loss could be. Yeah, because again, you guys can do this. You have all the tools. All you need to do is decode their names and the birthdays. And if you see a connection like with the name with the win or loss that can be picked up, I mean, that's usually the way it goes. Again, you guys can really be doing this. You have all the tools. It's not that hard. I mean, that's why I put all the knowledge out here so you guys can do it. And usually you want to do it more than 15 minutes before the fight so you have time to think about things, make sure you're not overlooking something. But,
Right.
why is the dude's name not coming up? Canelo. Hold on. What are the odds right now on this fight?
Let's see.
Canelo Alvarez. Okay, the other guy. He's from Turkey. I don't see unfortunately for this fight, some fights will have it, some won't. But unfortunately, right now in their names, I don't see any connection to the win or loss that either person could pick up in this fight based on their names. I want to know if they have any history of fighting each other. Sometimes it's like, if it was like 55 weeks after they fought or something, then the one guy could pick up the 55th win. But I don't think it's like that. Here, let's see. Let's see if this guy's name, if he ever fought him again.
He's all leaning towards Alvarez. I mean, I don't know. I think they're all leaning towards Canelo. So
It's at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, so that's where Super Bowl 54 was. And what's his face is on 54 wins right now. Hard Rock Stadium. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if anything has a connection to what the record can be. Hard Rock's Miami, Florida does have the 79 connection, which is the 22nd prime. If the one dude's the underdog, he does have a shot at his 22nd win, which is interesting. But here, you know what? We'll take some more calls. You said the fight really starts in just a few minutes?
Yeah, it starts at 8. Excuse me. Yeah, it's gonna be 8 Eastern.
Well, that's probably the first bout, but their fight's probably still a couple hours off, right?
Yeah, probably so.
Because I'm out on the West Coast. Normally the primetime fight's not at 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Like, I imagine it's probably still 2-3 hours away before the main bout. I'll take some more calls. There might be somebody who already decoded it and can call in and throw something else we don't know. Because, yeah, I'd have to look at a few more things. But, The one thing that does jump out for me for about the underdog is just how much that 2-2-2's been showing up with everything, and the fact that if he won, he would be 22-2. But I'd want to look some more before I felt good about that. So I appreciate the heads up, though, man. Thank you.
Yeah, new subscriber here, man. So I just wanted to just see if you had that decode right there. But
Yeah.
appreciate it, Zach.
All right. Yeah, you take care, man. See you.
All right.
What's up, caller?
Hold on, Zach. Quick question. Say a team's record or a team's name or their stadium equals a Jesuit number or a Catholic number. Is that a good sign or a bad sign for them to win or lose?
Again, you guys are looking for the things like if a team could pick up their 38th win and the opponent's name equaled 38 and it was 38 date numeral or something like that, you could feel good about them getting the 38th win, or it could be the 38th loss. Again, you're just looking for where the number that can be picked up. Does it connect to the team or the venue? Because it's usually those two things. So
Yeah, I got you.
that's what you're looking for. You're just looking for, and when it lines up on both sides, like that's the best. When like a team's, like say one team could get the 38th win and the other team could get the 34th loss, and the team was playing a team that equaled 38, and then the other team was playing a team that equaled 34, so it lined up on both sides with both teams. Again, those are always the best reads. Those are the games that least likely fail. When you can find those, and they're there when you scan through the games, those are the ones you can feel the most good about. Those games probably fail like 1.5 out of 10 times. Sometimes they'll fail too, but they're the least likely to fail. Those are the best games.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Zach.
All right, man. Take care. What's up, Phoenix? Yeah, what's going on?
Hello. I wanted to call in about something that I saw with the tennis about the I was the caller that said about Nadal a couple weeks before, and I did notice the Djokovic 53 thing. But I was calling about this guy that's ranked 13th in the world, and he has a 125 name in the reverse.
Oh, and it's the 125th French Open.
But, and then also, I mean, he has a couple of things that line up on both sides as well. But I didn't decode the beginning, like from the start date, but the finals would be 53 days after his birthday. And I saw on your GematriaEffectNews that it's the 33 area code. It would be 53 days after he turns 33 years old.
So he could be perfect for that championship. What's his name? What's that guy's name?
His name is Roberto Batista Agut. ROBERTOBAUTIST.
I found him. Yeah.
Okay. But I do see that his record is 61-32 in Grand Slam, so that could...
Look at his birthday. Look at his birthday, too. It's April 14th. It's 14/4. So that other big Jesuit number.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
he's from Spain. Isn't that where Nadal's from?
Yeah, I see that was a 59, I think.
Yeah, so he is very interesting. And what did you say? His name equals 125?
Yeah, in the reverse. But he's not... So the thing is, I want to look up something else on that, because you said it's far away as far as decoding goes, because the big three...
Hold on. His name is also 235, and the tournament starts on 23/5, so he's got the perfect name for the start date. His name's also 73, which is the 21st prime, just like how Novak has that 73 connection. So
you know what else?
Go ahead.
His record at the French Open is 16-8. So he'd have that 53-16 connection to come into the tournament.
That's true. Yeah. So this is exactly what you want to look for. So, and it doesn't necessarily. He very well could. You said the championship's 53 days after his birthday.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna put that in. It's April 14th to June 6th. That would be just such a perfect ritual if Djokovic faced him, and if Djokovic won him or faced him, I'd have no doubt that he'd be winning that thing because it's the perfect opponent.
Wait, I found something else on him. So you know the ritual, I guess the French Open with the whole Wimbledon thing, how they backed everything up, the only one they canceled last year.
Right.
When I looked into this guy, the ending of the French Open last year ended on 10/11/20, and it's 26 weeks, 3 days before his 32nd birthday, which was the 56th prime, and French Open equals 56. in full reduction.
Wait, what?
I don't
What's
know.
56?
So I looked at the ending of when Nadal. So the French Open last year, it's supposed to always end in June. They postponed it because of the stupid COVID thing, and the ending. So the finals last year ended for the men on 10/11/20, which was 26 weeks and 3 days before his birthday, which was the 56th prime.
I see.
And French Open equals 56. And also, I see Paris in one of the things equals 56. And, excuse me, not 56. Paris equals 63 in English. And it's 6 months and 3 days after the finals of the 2020. There's a lot of things that line up with him. But I just got that because I do a document with Jeremy. We did a Google Doc, so it was like kind of easy. Just then I looked if there was any names that were 25 that equaled 125 in the document that were like top 20 in the world, and he was one of the 125 names. Because that's another thing with the Grand Slams is besides Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic on the men's side, like if you're not top 20 in the world, they don't. Usually, it's always going to be somebody that's in the top 15 in the world if it's not one of them. But that was the other ritual. I want to look at how many times, because I think it would be the 59th. I think 58, the past 58 Grand Slams, one of those three won. Let me double check that. They pretty much win every single.
They do. The U.S. Open's been where there's been the most variance in different names besides their three names.
Yeah, I bet you Djokovic will. You said this one's the big one for him, whether or not he wins all four. Because I remember way before I discovered this 10 years ago, I was like, why is Djokovic wearing an FDNY hat when he's Serbian? Like, it made no sense because I think the finals were on 9/11.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And he was the whole ritual. So I went to go look at the pictures. You can look this up. Look up Novak Djokovic 2011 U.S. Open. He beat Nadal in the finals. I'm sure, that must have been so rigged because the whole tournament, only he wasn't playing the match in the FDNY hat. And all they kept saying was, oh, he's wearing it to honor the 10th anniversary of 9/11. Something ridiculous.
Sure. Yeah, that's how they do it. So that makes sense.
But what was the Tesla thing that you spoke about earlier?
Okay, so again, there's just this big theme with power and energy and sports and news stories, like how in Houston, the big star J.J. Watt wants to leave, and the other big star Deshaun Watson wants to leave, and Watts or energy, and Houston got hit the hardest with the blackouts. And again, so I'm just thinking, okay, there's this theme with electricity. At the beginning of the year, Elon Musk became the richest man in the world on the anniversary of Tesla's death. Well, if you research the history of electricity, some people contend it really did come from Austria and, Tesla and all the people over there, the inventors. But Tesla's from Serbia, just like Djokovic. So I'm just thinking maybe that could be part of the bigger theme and why him this year in 21. There might be some piece to history about that for why he'd also get that tribute in this year about electricity just being from that country, Serbia.
Yeah, I would definitely. I see you're focusing on the big three. I think that's the bigger picture here. This is just like a long shot potential that has numbers lining up with this 13 in the world, dude. I haven't followed sports. I knew they were rigged, but till I discovered you, I didn't know how they were rigged. So, this guy doesn't even do that great in the slams. He does good in the year-round tournaments, which are also rigged. But,
you know what I realized about this thing you brought up about Djokovic? So this year, it's going to fall on the same day, because it was September 12th, 2011. So it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of him wearing the FDNY hat, that the U.S. Open ends on the same day. And what's interesting is if he did win the French Open and Wimbledon, he'd be on 20 majors won on the 20-year anniversary, essentially, of 9/11, and on the 10-year anniversary of wearing this hat, and he could pick up his 21st that day to conclude 21. So,
another thing I saw with that, as far as the women go, they play a day in advance, and so they're playing the women's final of the U.S. Open on 9/11, and Serena. I'm reading your book, so I read about the 39-111 connection to New York. Serena is 39 years old. The finals would be played on 9/11, so that's a potentially thing to look at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great thought
I
too.
don't know if 15 fits into that narrative.
Well, her being
Or
39 and the U.S. Open being in New York, 39 in New York plays so much, and her being one of the biggest stars in all of sports, period. Yeah, that's going to be right before she turns 40. That is very interesting.
You mentioned Osaka for the French Open.
Hold on. Okay, so I'm realizing something. I'm just doing some math in my head. So I'm realizing that September 11th, 2021 is going to be Serena's 351st day of her age. That's the 26th triangular number. Her birthday is the 26th of September, and Serena equals 26. That's the number that marks her career as 26. Covered so many Serena 26 rituals. So yeah, Serena for this U.S. Open, 39 in New York, right before turning 40. On her 351st day of her age, if it really is 9/11, that's what day it's going to be. It'll be her 351st day of her age, the 26th triangular number. So that could be one. Yeah.
Does 113, the number 113, connect to anything?
It's a big boss number 113. I see because Djokovic, the U.S. Open's 113 days after his birthday. You know what I just realized? Serena's full name equals 201. I never realized that before.
She's a 201 name.
Wow.
The thing about Serena that I looked at, I haven't looked too far into it. I was just looking at some stuff. If she were to win the U.S. Open on September 11th, it would be her 113th career U.S. Open win. That's why I asked.
That's huge because Djokovic, it's 113 days after his birthday, and they could connect those two rituals, 113. 113, it's really important with the Scottish rite of Freemasonry, which is related to the Jesuits too. I don't know if it has some tennis connection. It's the 30th prime number. But that's interesting that she'd get her 113th U.S. Open match win if she won the whole tournament, you're saying?
So the 111 seems obvious. So it seems like it'd be an easy, basically a definitive for her.
Yeah, 111 in New York at age 39 seems like a no-brainer. Yeah. So how many matches do you have to win because I don't follow tennis that carefully, but how many do you have to win?
You have to win 7 to win the whole thing.
So she starts at 1, so she comes in.
That's the other thing. You said about something with 7, Tom Brady and the Saturn and 7 this year.
Right.
It would be her, listen to this, it would be her 7th U.S. Open title, as well as she hasn't won it since 2014.
Okay, so it would be her 7th, and she can do it in this 26 ritual. I don't go outside of the base ciphers very often, but the septenary cipher is important, and Saturn is 26 in that cipher. So, and again, Saturn's 21 in the most pure cipher, and Serena has that strong 26 connection. So to me, that has a lot of rhyme and reason right there. But hold on, I'm just thinking about how you already know the 113 thing. Is she not playing in she's not playing in the other Grand Slam events this year?
Well, I didn't go over, there's not enough information to see how she does in Wimbledon and the French Open this year. But I looked up her U.S. Open, her career record at the U.S. Open.
So it's just for the U.S. Open. I see. Okay. Mm-hmm. So she could get to 130. So she has to win 7 at the U.S. Open to get to 113 and win it all.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that means she's at 106 right now, which is also significant because Black is 106 and Black Lives Matter's 106. So I see a lot with that actually.
And you said with Djokovic potentially winning, because that usually does never happen in tennis with the 4 Grand Slam thing. I need to look.
Well, the U.S. Open is 113 days. It ends 113. Oh, you know what else? Okay, so look at this. The U.S. Open begins on his 101st day of his age, which is the 26th prime, right? So it could be a ritual between him and Serena for that tournament, just like maybe the ritual in the Australian Open was how Osaka won her 21st straight match while he wins in the men's, and he could be on his way to winning 21 majors by sweeping this year. And then Osaka's like the new black female superstar in tennis. Serena's the one going out, so beginning and end type of thing. And then it would also be like Djokovic is a little bit younger than Nadal and Federer. They've been stars longer. He could surpass them this year in 21. So.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing it for so long. You're so good at it. I think when I look at some of those things, you're just a master at making all the ritual connections. I'm not very good at that yet. But
Well, I have a lot of practice, and there's people. I don't know if I'm the master. I feel like there's people who are definitely getting better at this. But this is what you have to look for: the parallels in numbers, because the men's and the women's things related to each other. So you're fine about 113 in Serena. I got to go back and look for the men and get these kind of stats that you have. I've never looked in that great a detail, but that 113 thing, man, that really would go with Djokovic at the U.S. Open. So.
And the other thing I want to mention, I mean, get to all of the other people with the basketball and the baseball and stuff, is the whole Jennifer Brady thing. This is what's so funny about all of this. So how they linked the Brady 3-2-2 Skull and Bones final up. Well, Jennifer Brady went to college at UCLA, and her college coach, her head coach, is Stella Sampras. Stella Sampras' brother,
Pete Sampras. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. Well, that's what I wanted to call in about. I'm sure I had something else, but I'm going to let other people get on the line. Thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah, great work. And just remember, a lot of times the riddles are the really surface level stuff. Like Djokovic loves the number 53, which you probably didn't know because you're new here. But, I mean, just it being the 53rd Australian Open, had I known that when you called in that night, I would have said, oh, you better go with Djokovic because he sure loves his 53, so.
Well, that's the other thing. So I looked, all the titles have different years, like that Wimbledon thing they canceled. That'll be, you said, linked to World War II this year. But as far as the Open era is concerned, that's the thing about Djokovic and winning all four this year. It's the 53rd year of the Open era for all of these Grand Slams. So that would make a good riddle for him to win it all.
Oh, it's so for all of them it counts as the 53rd era.
Yeah, and then they just, so how the Open era thing, what they claim is it's how professionals, they used to allow amateurs to play. So that's why they say, oh, it's the 125th French Open or 109th, whatever year number they're in. But as far as the Open era, it's the 53rd of all of them.
So the 53rd Open era.
Yes.
That's huge because, yeah, that's his number right there. And like we were saying, it'll be a span of 53 years since the last time a man won all four. So.
Oh. Yeah, he's got a strong one then this year.
Yeah.
But you said that too bad Nadal doesn't have 14 total French Opens. I wish he did because that'd be an easier one for his streak to end because he's got 13 career French Open titles.
N does equal 13 and 14, though. It does equal both, so.
Oh, so he could lose. I saw his record total at the French Open going in is he has 100 wins and 2 career losses. So they script it all the time, every year, basically, for him to win.
It is. It's just like the year that we said Djokovic would win Wimbledon. I still remember watching that, and I was like, you can still. If Federer had a chance to put him away right there, and he didn't even try to. I mean, so.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, well, yeah, I've taken up enough of your time, but thank you.
Well, great information.
I hope that Jeremy gets in. I know I saw him as a moderator. I hope he gets in because I talked to him a lot on Instagram, and he had stuff for baseball as well with the whole Toronto thing and them winning.
Yeah.
Because I know it would be 27 years as well since they won the whole
MLB 27. Yeah, they like that number. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Great call. You have a good day.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. Okay, so 53rd Open era, too. That's big. I guess that makes sense, and that's probably why it's the 53rd Australian Open. That's when this format... I guess that makes sense, because that does make sense, because this is when it became the 4 Grand Slams, so it had to have been since it was the 53rd Australian Open. Okay. Yeah, this Djokovic thing getting stronger, and the way it syncs up with Serena for that last one, Serena's final Out and think about it. Serena's 39, right? That's a big number in Black history. MLK killed at age 39. Malcolm X killed at age 39. The reason I think that's so is, again, Old Testament, Protestant, 39 books in the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, the Hebrews got darker skin. What's up, caller?
What's going on, Zach, my brother?
Yeah, how you doing?
I want to say thank you again.
Welcome.
Just for everything. I smacked him yesterday with basketball with a Trayvon Martin ritual.
Oh, tell us about it. I missed it. What happened yesterday?
Trayvon Martin. So it was the anniversary of Trayvon Martin's death, and so it was been 9 years since he died. The NBA had 9 games. He died at 17, so he would have been 26. It was on the 26th yesterday. So once I figured that out, I just figured out like what other numbers gonna play, and it was 17. So I took every team that can either get their 17th loss or 17 win to stay on it, and sure enough, it hit. I took the Heat money line because he died in Miami, going against the Jazz, like George Zimmerman with disease. You know what I'm saying? I put that together. I figured that Jazz represents George Zimmerman. But I just want to thank you on that because I learned everything from you, man. And I had 3 good days. I had the coronavirus ritual on the 56th day of the year.
You get the Jordan ritual? Did you get the Jordan ritual on his birthday?
I missed the Jordan ritual, but I got into some trouble. That's why. So I was locked up for a little bit.
Okay.
So I missed that shit. But I would have been all over that. But I hit the coronavirus ritual on the 56th day of the year. I took all college teams that can go 15-5.
Oh yeah, coronavirus 155, 56. Yep. Smart.
Yup. So I smacked like 3 days in a row. So I just really want to say, man, thank you, man. And I took Cleveland the money line today. Cavaliers. I've been trying to master the because just betting on the daily decals is really hard, man. It's like really like the playoffs and stuff is easier for us to call.
Indeed. But stop. What you just said, that's how it is, though. When you recognize something about that date in history and you know how they sync up sports and news, like the Trayvon Martin thing you just said, you're like, okay, this is Trayvon Martin Day. Let me see how they might have structured this with all the Black Lives Matter stuff going on. That's exactly how they do it. So that was perfect thought. Just like how on Jordan Day, Michael Jordan, 59, both of his teams can become 5-9 at home. And you know they're going to do the same thing next year because next year he turns 59. And I bet you there'll be a huge league. We'll definitely do a decode the day of Jordan's 59th birthday. There'll probably be so many 59 rituals league-wide, it'll blow everybody's mind. But again, those are the days where you can really get them when you just know what they're going to do.
The ritual, absolutely, I agree. Other than that, just betting on, because I was on the Lakers too with this 257 thing, and the Lakers had everything, and it didn't come through. So it's
that Jesuit though, man. You got to remember those Jesuit. That 266 is big with them, so that was there, and just it's 21, the Jesuit number. But yeah, I could see why people would have went for the 25-7, and then to look and figure out that was LeBron's 55th loss with the Lakers on the 55th day of the year. I mean, that's a sideways thought, but that's how it is sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta dig real deep. If anybody puts the host on something, you gotta dig deeper. You just can't see 257.
Well,
my buddies lost a lot of money too.
That can be the trick, though. Usually, it is the more surface level thing, like the 25-7 on the 55th day of the year. But sometimes, if you didn't do quite enough research, it'll be that thing that you overlook that bites you. But yeah, that's why you want to do your homework. So
I've noticed that the reverse it kills me. Every time the number reverse, I feel like more than not it hits sometimes, but I feel like sometimes like I just lose, so I try to ignore the reverse.
Well, that's why I always say you really want to find the things in that dark blue cipher. That dark, the dark.
Reverse, I lose a lot.
That I agree. It's less consistent. That dark blue cipher, the most important one, just like Michael Jordan 59, both of his teams become 5-9. And again, going into that game, Washington was 4-9 at home. Washington's 49 in the most pure cipher, and so is Chicago Bulls. And the Bulls, we always talk about how the Bulls love that 49 number. So the Bulls were 4-9. They advanced to 5-9, just like Washington. That's all in that one blue cipher. That's easily the best cipher out of the four. So.
Look, I agree. The blue cipher does me good. It misses sometimes because you can't hit everything. So I'm just trying to get better, and I know you got a lot of shit going on, so you don't get to really tap in. So all I do is every day I fucking try to focus, and I'm up like 6,000 in the last 3 days, bro.
Well, keep it going, man. Keep it going.
I'm
good
trying,
job,
bro. I'm trying. I just want to talk about the NBA real quick, and like why
100% agree that it's going to be Lakers for sure. And I definitely think it's going to be the Nets. If not the Nets, I think maybe the Celtics. I'm going to tell you why. Because I think 18 is the biggest number of the year. Because Alabama won their 18th championship. Tom Brady and the Bucks just won 18 years later. So LeBron James is definitely going to be going to the finals. First,
Wait. Hold on. What was the 18 years later for Brady?
18. The last time the Buccaneers won the championship was Super Bowl 37.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So 18 is huge this year, Zach. And 7 also. 7 and 18 has been fucking coming through so far. So the Lakers is a lot to be there because they're the only one out the West that got the 18. The Nets, the last time they was in the finals was 18 years ago versus the Spurs. So I love them, and they, like, you know what I mean? And then I don't think the Celtics, but just if they want to do the 18, the first 18.
The tiebreaker at 17. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The tiebreaker at 17 could be the two teams with 17. That's possible, but yeah, I really like the Nets thing, man. I don't think they're going to bust on that, so.
All right, and then just one thing, like, I like the finals, but I'm torn on who's going to win because I ran into something that Steve Nash, the coach of the Nets, his birthday was on the Super Bowl, the day of the Super Bowl. All right. So Steve Nash is his first season coaching, right? So
the Nets coach now, right?
Yeah, the Nets coach now. If he wins this year, he'll be the 7th coach to win in their first season coaching.
I see, with the whole 7 theme. The whole
KD changed his number to 7 randomly. They said Brady was going to change his number to 7. And it's just like LeBron James can get his 7th loss. So I like the Lakers. I'm not trying to go against you. I learned my lesson last year. I'm just saying I'm not like, I don't want. I'm just gonna put my money on the Lakers to get there, and then I'll sit back and watch because there's a lot of 7s going there. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's always good to look at the other thing just in case. I really think they're gonna do that 6 and 6 thing though with LeBron. I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, no. I'm with you, and I hope it, and I do hope it hits because you've been saying it. Like, I'm not going against you, but I just see like. So, and then like AD's banged up, and it's just like, and the Nets are really.
That's
good,
all the narrative,
I mean?
though. That's just you hear everybody because if they don't have the Lakers, just kind of play a little bit disappointing and all ADs. I mean, just everybody just knows it's a foregone conclusion they're winning again. They got to. It's just like how they.
Absolutely.
It's like what they did with the Bucks this year. It's they had the Bucks start off real slow. It's just like when they won Super Bowl 53. The Patriots and Brady started off real slow that year. So. Yeah, they got to keep people off the one. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that. So.
Did you know that Brady he won his 4th Super Bowl in 7 years?
His 4th in 7 years. Well, I didn't realize that, but that makes a lot of sense too. Tampa Bay 47.
47. That's what I'm trying to say. LeBron also can drop to 4 and 7. So I'm just saying it's like I'm not trying to change nothing. I'm just like I definitely like that. I definitely like the finals for sure, but I'm not gonna go too crazy on try to pick a winner. You know what I mean? I think Lakers are 100% gonna be there for the 18th because I believe 18 is the biggest number of this year. Alabama won the 18th championship. Nick Saban got his 7th ring. Tom Brady won 18 years later, and now it's a foregone conclusion that the Lakers will be there and versus the Nets or the Celtics for the big 18 ritual. You know what I mean?
Well, and that goes kind of with the Djokovic thing too, because he started the year by getting his 18th major. So.
Oh, see, and then like I be just watching ESPN and shit, and they just like they throw the shit in our face, bro. And I'm pointing out to my.
Well, again, the way that fits in, the Jesuit logo has IHS, which equals 18, and Jesuit's 21. So I see why that 18 goes with 21.
Got you. So yeah, because I've been listening. I haven't really heard you talk about 18 too much, but I just want to make sure, like.
Well, remember what we know? Remember what we know about 18? Like games on the 18th, because Upset is 18 and ESPN's 18, and we've always seen the big upsets on the 18th. So. Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. All right, man. I just wanted to call in and say thank you again, man. I'll call back.
You're welcome, man. Keep up the good work.
All right.
All right. See you. Okay. Yeah, the line's open. Okay, New York's calling in. What's up, New York?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
How you doing?
I just wanted to add something, because I was going to call about Serena, too. I just wanted to add something. She won her first tournament on 9/11. That was her first Grand Slam. And that was 22, that would be 22 years.
22 years to the, so It was 1999.
To the day.
1999.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would be
Okay.
22 years. And what was the decode with the Masters and Tiger Woods? Wasn't there a 22-11 connection?
Are you talking about the year that he won the Masters? Remember, it was 22 years after his first Masters win, and 11 years since his last major win, and the master numbers are 22 and 11. That's why we like Tiger so much that year he won it, because it had the two master number connections.
Well, isn't Serena similar to that? If it's 22 years since her first Grand Slam, and it's on the 11th, and September 11th leaves 111 days.
That is
after the
similar.
year.
That is similar. But the one difference is the event's not called the Masters. It's called the U.S. Open. So it doesn't have as good of a master connection.
Right.
But yeah, that 22 and 11 is there, and so it could still work out that way.
And Serena Williams equals 61. The finals is 61 date numerology.
That's a good one, too. I really like the way things line up for Serena Williams, and I also like how that goes with Djokovic. So I like the way it comes together with both of them. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, and she's chasing Margaret Court to get the 24th Grand Slam to tie her.
Okay.
Margaret Court, when Serena was born, Margaret Court was 39 years old, which I thought was interesting, too.
Say that again?
When Serena Williams was born,
Right.
Margaret Court was 39 years years
Oh, and
old.
now she's 39. I see.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't think Serena wins anything. I think she ends her career at the with the U.S. Open win.
Wait, you think she ends her career at the U.S. Open with what? How does she end it then?
Winning the Grand Slam, winning the U.S. Open.
Oh, okay. I thought before that you said you thought she didn't win anything.
No. I'm just saying that was another thing that lined up, that she won her first Grand Slam on September 11th.
Yes.
And the U.S. Open is 22 years ago.
Yeah.
That she won her first Grand Slam.
And I really like
the
Yeah, I really like how it's on her 351st day of her age, because again, that's the 26th triangular number, and that's the big Serena number, 26. So it seems perfect.
And that slogan, that motto, for the greater glory of God, is 351 also.
Right, that's correct. Yeah, and God is 26. And game is 26 like God, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to mention you mentioned rep digits. I remember a couple of times
right.
You have a record, or there was an unbelievable, like Florida Gators was my biggest play of the day. The coach of the Florida Gators, Michael White, it was his 333rd game. He got his 222nd win, and he stayed on 111 losses.
Right. Yeah, that's a rep digit right there. Yeah, that's as good as it gets.
Beautiful.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah. And one last thing I'll just throw in there. Medvedev, who's into like a top 5 player, really good tennis player. Like he's.
Isn't that who Djokovic just beat? Isn't that who he just beat?
Yes. He referred to Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic as the cyborgs of tennis.
The what?
Maybe the cyborgs of tennis. He says it's going to be hard to catch the cyborgs of tennis. It just made me think, like there had to be more to that, to that word that he used.
Okay, cyborgs at tennis, and he said that about which two again?
The big three, Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer.
Oh, those three. Cyborgs of tennis.
Yeah, it made me think, maybe they have mechanical body parts, or robotic body arms, or something like that. It just made me think, like, why... It is an interesting thing to say, isn't it? Calling them cyborgs.
It's got Gematria of 191 and 79 in the same ciphers as Society of Jesus. That's interesting. 74 too. So, I'll have to look.
If you look at Federer and Djokovic, they're not big. They don't have strong arms. They're very slight of build.
Right. Yeah.
Like, well, how are they so friggin' good?
Well,
Anyway,
Script anything. It's just like when that year that we had Djokovic win at Wimbledon because it was just a no-brainer. I still remember. I mean, he should have lost. Federer had the perfect thing to just put him away, and he just gave him a little soft lob over there so he could hit it back. I was like, come on, you can't see that this is fixed. I mean, he could have just killed him right there. So.
yeah, I saw that. I think it was like 40 love or something, and he just needed 1 point.
And he had the perfect opportunity. He just barely hit it back over. It's like, come on, man, you're gonna put him away with that shot, not just hit it back so he can keep the volley going. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's just unreal. But all right, that's all I had. Thanks.
All right,
See ya.
yeah, good ones. See you.
Bye.
All right, good calls so far today, guys. You guys are doing a good job. Good information being brought to the table. But yeah, I'm gonna plug that Serena thing in. Again, we'll look at this more and more. We'll keep figuring out more and more as a community. What's up, caller?
Hi, Zach. It's Gus from Las Vegas. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. I'm calling to see, like, in the Super Bowl for next year. You know how you synced up the 102 with the N-word and all that?
Slavery and all that, and what they did last year on the day, leaving 102 days left in the year, yeah?
Excellent, excellent. And I'm figuring it's going to be the Cowboys versus the Chiefs for next year.
Did you hear the rumor about Russell Wilson possibly getting traded to the Cowboys?
Yes, I have.
If that happens, it's over. If that happens, it's over.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And get this, there's a pattern, Zach, that I discovered. They're playing in Rams and Chargers Stadium. Correct.
Right, that's correct.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Get this now. The first game the Rams played in their new home stadium was against the Cowboys, Week 1.
Ah. What? Do you know the date of that game?
The date of that game, hold on, I got the schedule. It happened to be on the 13th of September.
Okay, 13th of September. Okay.
Right. It was on the 13th.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Week,
Pulling it up.
okay.
I just want to go back and look at the score of that game. So.
Yeah, it was the Rams 20, the Cowboys 17.
That was the last time they played each other. So that's the first time.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Was this past season the first season of that new That's right, it was, and there was no fans there. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
Correct. And the following week, the Chargers played their first home game against the Chiefs.
Ah.
You see the connection there, the pattern?
If you can't see that one, you're blind. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And that game, the Chiefs won in overtime. They had to come from behind, and that was Justin Herbert's, first debut. It was his first start.
Okay, so looks like that game was September 20th. September 20th, the next week.
Final score, September 20th, and that final score was Chiefs 23, Chargers 20 in overtime.
I see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's very interesting. The first game from the NFC, the first game from the AFC, Cowboys, Chiefs, which for people who missed what we talked about, next year's the 56th Super Bowl. WrestleMania's in Dallas exactly 56 days after the Super Bowl. There's a few other things there. But I've been saying, let's see if Dak Prescott, if they have a different quarterback instead. Deshaun Watson could make sense for me, but man, if it's Russell Wilson, because for people who forget, Russell Wilson, his birthday is the 333rd day of the year, 333. Patrick Mahomes, his full name equals 333, and they're the only two quarterbacks to win Super Bowls on the 33rd day of the year. They played in the only two games on the 33rd day of the year. They both won. And then this year, Patrick Mahomes was losing to Brady like Russell Wilson did, and they kept showing the camera how Russell Wilson was at the game, so it's like they're trying to tell us something with that. So we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly. And now, as far as who's gonna win the game, I'm gonna bet the Cowboys, Zach. I really do.
You know what's interesting? Hey, check this out. The Chargers have 56 wins all time against the Chiefs going into this season, the year of Super Bowl 56 as well. So I'm just scanning and looking. Mm-hmm. They're the only team that they have 50. No other team do they have 56 wins against. But the Chargers, who host the Super Bowl this year, have 56 wins against the Chiefs in the regular season going in. And if you want to get cute, they have played in the postseason one time, so that would be 57, but 57's related to Super Bowls, and then Super Bowl 56. So that could be another big clue right there. Yeah?
Right. Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. And as far as who's gonna win the game, I'm gonna lean on Dallas for now, but I might change my mind.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
So, no.
Okay.
Absolutely
Here's what I gotta say. I gotta say, man, if it's those two teams, I'm pretty sure the Chiefs will win that game to get to 3-2. Because again, Kansas City's 32 in the most pure ciphers. So is Chiefs. NFL's 32 teams. That would be hard for me to go against. The Chiefs not becoming 3-2. So.
I see. All right. Yeah, you're not wrong on that. You're not wrong.
We'll look at it more though. I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily that way, but I'm just reminding people 32 is a big number with the Chiefs and a big number with the NFL. So.
Right, I know. I have that in mind always. And one other thing about the previous caller, it was interesting what he said about the Lakers and Nets in the finals, which I can see, and LeBron going 4-7 in the finals. That's interesting to me, bro.
New Jersey does equal 47. The first ever NBA championship was in the year 47. That's a big number. He did come from Ohio, 47 land. I still think he's getting to 6-6 though. I can't go against the 6-6 rule.
So?
I do.
No, I can't stand LeBron. I just can't stand him. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And what do you think about hockey this year? I got like 3 teams. Like I got the Maple Leafs, the Knights, or the Avalanche.
Okay, I have not done any research on hockey yet, but again, they went with the 56-game schedule, and in Canada, they're doing the Big 7 or whatever they're calling that, Group of 7. Again, that's another 7 clue right there. So I think we really need to look at those those Canadian teams and see if somebody has a chance to get their 7th championship maybe as a franchise. If there's anything like that with all the 7 stuff, I think that's the clue. So I got to do my homework on the hockey.
Right, and it's so long that a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. I believe it was the last time it was the Canadians back in '93.
Right, Canada has not won since 93, which is a big time-related number. Stanley equals 93 as well. So it feels like they're due.
Right.
Oh, and you know what else? Saturn equals 93 and 21, so maybe ending the streak since 93 in 21 would be another reason for Canada to finally do it. Just kind of like how Brady in his 21st season, again, Saturn has 7 rings. Brady gets his 7th ring in 21, and now the Chiefs have allowed 93 points scored in Super Bowls, and Saturn's 93 and 21. So could be something there with one of those 7 teams with the Canada. I think the clue's there.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to lean more to the Maple Leafs.
Okay, I got to do my homework. I don't know. But there's a guy in this community who's been saying Maple Leafs the whole time. So there's a guy who knows his hockey who likes that.
All right, hey. Yeah. And, Zach, as far as the books, I want to order the letters and numbers book and the 9/11, the coronavirus book.
All of you guys who are on Patreon, I only have letters and numbers in ebook form, but any of you guys can email me at numbergamesbook@gmail.com and just say, hey, I'm on the Patreon. I will email you guys the ebooks for free since you guys support the Patreon. Or you can just go back to the Christmas Eve post and download it for free. That's another way to get it. It's on Patreon. If you scroll back to the Christmas Eve post, just download. But I'm pretty much out of physical copies of Number Games for right now. You can still order it online at other places, but I will send you the ebooks for free if you have trouble downloading it.
Okay, so I would go under your Patreon page.
You're already on there. Just scroll back to Christmas Eve post. It's all chronological order, so go back to December 24, 2020, and you'll see that you can download both books just right off the page.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's it, Zach. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Keep up the great work.
Oh, okay? And if you want the Lulu book, or if you want the letters and numbers book printed, because the only way to get that book in print is to take that ebook file, and then you send it to a website called lulu.com, and they can print it for you as a physical book. I think they charge about $30 because it's big. It's like 800 pages, but they'll print it for you.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's no problem.
All right.
That's not a problem.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, Zach. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, take care, man. See ya.
Take care. Thank you.
And by the way, I don't get anything from you guys printing it at Lulu. I'm just saying that's the way to turn it into a physical book. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. How you doing? It's Tommy from Philly.
Hey, man.
I'm the guy who called and picked Bubba Wallace for the Daytona 500. I was wrong, but I do want to say I got a pick for this race, but I do want to say that my narrative for that race was that Bubba was going to be the first black man to win the Daytona 500, but he was actually the first black man to lead a lap in the Daytona 500. So I'm close. I think the one thing you were right about was the dates. I didn't do birthdays and anything like that, and that's a rule, dude. And I've been following it for a long time, so I did some dates this week, and I think I might got who could be the winner. And it's kind of weird because I'm thinking Joey Logano, who drives the 22. And right now he has 26 wins.
Is this race tomorrow?
22.
This race is tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just since the race is on the 28th, just remember, since everything's so number-oriented, like a race on the 28th, just things I would think about, 28 is the 7th triangular number, so I don't know if there's a big 7 out there. 107 is the 28th prime. I know there's not going to be a car number 107, but I just always be aware of the numbers that connect to the specific day of the month. But go ahead with your Logano thought, but I just want to remind about just those number connections with the 28, but go ahead.
Well, here's your 7, his car runner, okay? And I go by car runners, too. And, when I was talking about Bubba Wallace, I was really big on Gibbs and the connection with Gibbs and Doug Williams, first black quarterback, all that stuff. So Joey Logano's owner is Roger Penske. He has 5 Indy championships and 2 NASCAR championships. So he got 7 top-tier American racing championships to his name as an owner. So I would think that would be a good 7 there for him. He's won the Daytona 500 as a owner, and he's won the Indianapolis 500 as an owner. So he is very, very well known there. But with Logano, one big thing is, and I got this posted on your Patreon as well in the community. One big thing I saw under the numbers, under the reverse, he has 151, and that's the 36 prime. And under the full reduction, Homestead has 36, and so does Miami. And that's where the track is. It's called Homestead, but it's actually known as Homestead Miami. So it's the city there. With the dates as well, where we're talking about here. There we go. Okay, so he has 26 wins right now, 222 top 10s, and he drives number 22. And you've been talking about 22 and 222 like crazy lately. If he wins, he's going to have 27, and Miami has the Gematria 27. His last win was 133 days ago. Roger Penske, his owner, has 133 in it. But I have a lot of stuff
you bring up the 22 and 2 thing. I just thought about something. I haven't done enough homework on that fight, but for people who are interested, I'm reminded that we just looked at where the fight was, and I think we saw it was in the same place that Super Bowl 54 was, in the Miami Stadium.
Yeah.
The fight tonight.
Yes, sir.
That was a big 2-2-2 ritual, Super Bowl 54. So if that one dude did upset, he would get to 22 and 2 in the same building that Super Bowl 54 happened. I do a little bit more research to see if that underdog tonight has a shot with that 2-2-2 thing out there for people who are interested in that. I imagine the fight's still a couple hours away, so.
Yeah, so there is a lot of 22s, 222s. There's a lot of 84s going on, too. And Roger Penske just had his birthday, I think, 8 days ago or something like that, and he just turned 84. But if you read my thing there, dude, because I don't like taking much of your time, I just printed up there, used the knowledge you've given me, and I almost hit the nail last week's race, too, because I thought it was going to be a Gibbs driver that was going to win last week, but I picked the wrong Gibbs driver. I actually thought it was going to be Hamlin, but it was Hamlin's teammate, number 20, who won last week, and I was like, God. And if I knew that 34 Love's car was in that race at Daytona, I would have put something down on that, John.
It had the numbers. It had those Super Bowl numbers plus Love's and Valentine's Day. I mean, come on.
Yo, when I saw that last lap, and here's the other thing about Logano and Keselowski, who is 2 and 22. That's their car numbers. Keselowski's 2, Logano's 22. They were leading last week's race, and they crashed. No. They were leading the Daytona 500, first and second. They crashed together, causing the 34 to win that race. They were leading on the last lap. Also, last week, Logano was leading on the last lap. And for some reason, it's the weirdest thing. If you watch the last 2 laps last week, it's like he slowed down, like considerably. He had like this giant lead, and he just slowed down considerably for the last guy to win. It was just really weird for the Gibbs guy to win. So I think he's going to get his win this week. He sacrificed his last 2 races. He was first
in both of them. So I really feel high on 22, but we'll see.
All right. Well, I appreciate all the insights, man. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate all you do, sir. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you have a good one. Hey, by the way, you guys, if you guys didn't see my work this week on Daft Punk's music video and all the stuff with gold and silver in that video and how it's synced up with the upcoming lunar eclipse because the sun represents gold and the moon silver, the day before that ritual, it came out that Patrick Mahomes had a baby girl and named her Sterling, like Sterling Silver, and the name Gematria is like National Football League in silver. The Daft Punk video, which has everything to do with silver, pays tribute to the number 56, like how it's the 56th Super Bowl coming in. And again, all this stuff's connected. So I feel really good about Mahomes being in the Super Bowl next year, especially now seeing that the Chargers have 56 wins against the Chiefs. What's up, caller?
Hey, man, how's it going? Long time.
Yeah, it's going well. Thank you.
Okay, so add on to that race for tomorrow. Luongo's got good numbers too, but I would keep an eye out on Chase Briscoe. He's best friends with last week's winner.
Wait, what? Say the name again. Who?
Chase Briscoe.
Oh yeah, Briscoe. He won on May 21st last year, 2020. Yeah, I remember his deal.
Yeah. So he's got numbers, and he's also got 107 in his Gematria, which is the 28th prime.
Yeah, he does.
But another one that I've been decoding, and he's going to, I don't know if he's going to win tomorrow, but like the connection is there, is Eric Jones. Eric Jones has got that's Richard Petty's car.
Oh shit. Maybe he said something right because it just disconnected him. Sorry, man, I didn't hang up. It just disconnected like that. Call back. Sorry about that. Caller?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah, what's going on?
So I was calling in to talk about UFC 259.
Okay.
So
Hold on. UFC 259, I just got to say something right off the top. If there's any big black fighters in that, that's a big number with Black Lives Matter rituals, 259. So I just want to throw that out there.
That's what I was thinking. So we have two fighters actually in the top three. It's also funny because 3 is 56, and the big poster is about how it's 3 championships. It's 3 champ versus champ fights or whatever. So we have like Adesanya, who can go 21-0 if he wins, versus John Blachowicz, who like it feels like all his numbers are like so ritualistic. Like his birthday is exactly 10 days before the fight. It's also 27 days after the Super Bowl, and he has 27 wins, so he can stay on 27. Also,
Okay.
by the way, the second black fighter, his name is Sterling. I found that interesting.
Sterling? So the whole silver thing going on.
Exactly. And his opponent is Peter Yan, whose name adds up to 36 twice, and the event takes place March 6th. Feels like a perfect sacrifice kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to see if you had any.
Well, my first thought is anybody who's black that's in that fight, I'd really be looking at them in UFC 259. That seems like there's going to be definitely some rituals because we documented plenty of stuff with Black Lives Matter in 259. That's why the first thing that came to my head when I heard that number was that. So.
Yeah, me too. So it feels like I personally I had like a futures bet on both the black guys winning. I mean, hopefully that comes through, but I just wanted to see if you felt like it would be the opposite, like if the two black guys would lose or if they would.
Well,
win.
see, that would be my thought. They're either probably gonna both win or both lose together because sometimes they do the shaming thing by the numbers. Just if I had to choose without even looking blindly, I'd say they're probably gonna win because it's Black Lives Matter number, just like how we're expecting the big black showing in Super Bowl 56 because that's another big Black Lives Matter number. So off the top, I'd think it's more likely they win, but I'd still double check it to make sure it's not one of those things where they got them both coded to lose. So, but
yeah, my one worry is Adesanya, like one of the main black guy. If he loses, he would be 20-1. So you know the whole 201 thing.
Yeah, 21-0 though could make sense, because Jesuits 21 and it's the year 21. So 201 is definitely huge with the Jesuits. 21 is probably even more important to them. So.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Also, the fight would be March 6, 2021, which would be 50 numerology, and undefeated equals 50 also.
Yeah.
I think it'd be safe for those two guys, right, with the two black guys?
I think that's probably good. I'd do your homework on it before you put your bet in, but yeah, I think that there's a real good shot that is the way it goes. So,
Yeah.
especially if they can pick up a win or loss that goes with the opponent's names. I mean, that's also what you really want to see. If somebody can pick up a win or loss that goes with that opponent, that's always a real good sign.
Okay.
You know what? I see who's also in this. This Israel Adesanya, and it was like a year ago that he had some 9/11 joke with his thing. So, that's the main fight. That's the main fight, isn't it? Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they've done some things with him already. So, okay, this is next weekend. Next weekend's event.
Yeah. Also, it's funny because it's also Shaquille O'Neal's birthday, but I don't know how to connect Shaquille.
Whose birthday?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, it's Shaq. Oh, yeah, March 6th. That is his birthday. He's gonna turn what? 49 this year. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I also noticed that March 1st is like some weird holiday, like some monkey thing, and I feel like it could just also play into the race thing, how they shame them and stuff.
There's a holiday on March 6th.
On March 1st.
Oh, on March 1st.
Monkey Day. Some weird shit, yeah.
I didn't know about that. Well, it's not the day of the fight though. Yeah, but I would really pay attention to the fighters who are black in UFC 259. That's probably going to be where the strongest riddles are. And yeah, I mean.
Yeah, there's also one.
Yeah.
There's also one more fight that includes a black fighter, but then it's two black fighters. So I don't know who to choose on that one.
Yeah, I'd look at the numbers and see if there's a number riddle there with it. So yeah, I'm looking at the poster for it. The poster has Aiden Sonya versus whoever he's fighting at the top. Then two women in the middle must be their top women fight, and then the bottom it's a black guy versus a white guy too. So
yeah, it's interesting too because I was also like I wrote in BLM LGBTQT and it gives me 131. And Amanda Nunes is lesbian, so she kind of falls into the LGBTQT thing. So it could kind of be like the two blacks and the lesbian win on the
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, she's very heavily favored.
Okay. Yeah, just double check your name, Gematria, your birthday alignments. When you find those numbers that really line up with the record, that's when you know you found some great fights. That there's some there every week. And then, yeah. And then also, I mean, when you're structuring your bets, you can always do like an insurance parlay where it's like, well, just in case they decide to have both black fighters lose, instead, if you have like a small parlay with the other fights that look good, that insurance bet could cover if you did lose, if you went the wrong way on the initial thought. So always structure your bets in a way where you can cover your back end in case you're on the wrong side of the riddle. So that's what Big Al does. That's what Big Al's the master of in this community. He's really good at structuring his bets and his parlays. So that he's like, yeah, just in case it's this way, this is my insurance, but I don't have to put a lot on it. But if it hits, it's going to pay and cover everything that I'm betting on these ones. So, again, that's the way to get good with this knowledge. Go ahead.
Because I follow you on Patreon. You're the only one I have on.
Well, Big Al doesn't do a Patreon. Big Al's just somebody who's been around here for about 4 or 5 years now and just, decodes in his notebook and then, so.
He just do like call-ins and stuff?
He does call in though. Yeah, he might be listening right now. He might even end up calling in today. So.
Well, that's awesome. I've heard you speak about him, but I've just never seen like a YouTube channel or anything.
Well, if you go back and watch our protest in March last year, he flew up from Arizona. He was the tallest guy in the group of us out there on the streets of Seattle. And what was funny is he flew in from Arizona. And Saturday we took the day off, and he just did the UFC fights in his hotel room. He made like $2,500 that day. He doesn't even bet a lot, but he made like $2,500 off the UFC fight. So he paid for his whole trip up here and way more, and went back with more money in his pocket, than he came with. So
yeah, that's beautiful right there.
Yeah. So
that's nice. I also realized, by the way, like I also made a little futures bet. It's funny because I only put like $30, and I put Gonzaga to win 10 or whatever.
Oh.
Lakers to win.
Hold on, you cut out, but Gonzaga to win. By the way, you guys, if Gonzaga goes perfect this year, perfect has that gematria of 73, the 21st prime, like Jesuits 21. I could see Gonzaga winning every single game this year and having a perfect record. The ultimate Jesuit season.
Wow.
So I think that could happen.
Oh, by the way, what
You're cutting out a lot. You said, oh, by the way, and then it cut out.
I'm saying, I think the Dolphins was the last team to ever do that in any sport. I wonder what year they did it. Maybe that also connects with it.
It was 73, and we were talking about that.
Way.
Yeah, the Super Bowl was in 73, but again, we talked about that because the Miami Marlins were perfect in playoff series, and then I think they got their 6th playoff series win to start the playoffs this year, and 6 is the first perfect number, and then in the 7th playoff series, they lost. So it was like a perfect, and Don Shula died this year, who was the coach of the perfect team, and it was synced up with that Miami Marlins playoff series. So, yeah, anyway,
I like the narrative a lot.
Gonzaga could do the perfect thing this year in 21.
Yeah, so I made a futures bet just so the guys, so the people in the chat can hear also that if you guys put in that futures bet, it pays like a lot for nothing, bro. Like I put Gonzaga to win, Michigan to take the Big Ten, Lakers to win, Nets to take the East. I think that was it actually, and it was like $30 pays like $30,000. It was insane. I was like, what? Like that's like a gift, bro.
Well, let's hope that comes through. That'd be a nice percentage payout there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that's
well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Zach. I appreciate the work.
Yeah, very welcome. Yeah, man. Keep it going, man. You have a good night. What's up, Tennessee?
What's up, bro?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I was just calling in real quick to tell you that the password on the Patreon post isn't on there.
Oh, but below the link for the tennis thing, I put it on there though. It's the same link that I linked last night. It says the password is 2021. It's just the year 2021. I'll add it to the thing.
Oh.
I'll add it, but it's the same password I posted on the post last night, so it's the same thing.
Okay.
But yeah, just
Thanks,
2021 is what it is. 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. See you.
Be good.
Yeah, my fault, you guys. I'll fix that. Caller?
Hey, Zach, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's up?
Yeah, I remember you said for the men's NCAA basketball, you had Gonzaga, and I think you said Michigan.
Gonzaga over Michigan's what I like. Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering, did you decode the one for the women as well?
I didn't. I haven't paid attention to the women yet, but there's always a narrative across, and since it's in the women's championship, is it in Indianapolis as well, like the men's?
I believe so. I'm not for certain though.
I gotta check. If it is,
be.
I'd start paying attention to what Jesuit schools are doing well on the women's side too, because I think it's going to be a big Jesuit festival there, with both championships if they're both there.
So you mean the code what happened to do with 21, right?
Right, because Indianapolis is 201, like the Jesuit order, and Jesuit's 21 for the year 21. So I'm thinking it's a big Jesuit. Here, let me see. The women's championship is, where's it at?
And it's a day before the man.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just want to see if it's in the same spot. Women's basketball championship 2021. Let me see if I can double check this. And I'll look at this more before it starts. We'll do more of these before the stream for sure. Where is it at? Final Four dates and sites. Final Four. Well, actually, it looks like... Or hold on. Is it in the... It actually might be in San Antonio for the women's...
Another Texas.
Yeah, I think it's in San Antonio, Texas. So it could be a different ritual. I'd have to take a look at the women's and see if anything goes together there with San Antonio. But you know what? Now that I say that out loud, what teams are doing well right now in women's? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, I've not been keeping up. I just kept up a little bit with the men, and I thought that was interesting.
Well, you know what? San Antonio, Texas equals 191 and 56 in the same ciphers as Society of Jesus, so they could still have a Jesuit thing going on there, even in that city too. Here, let me see. Women's college basketball rankings. Let's see if there's a Catholic or Jesuit program up there at the top right now. Women's college basketball rankings. Because yeah, I haven't paid attention at all to the women's. Let's see. UConn's up there at the top. What else is new? Okay, with all the transgender stuff going on, something to watch out for is that South Carolina team, because the last time they had a big transgender thing going on, they won. That was the year North Carolina beat Gonzaga in the men's, and then South Carolina won the women's championship, and they were referring to them as the Lady Cocks, and it was the year of the bathroom bill about if the transgender people could use the men's or women's room, and then the Lady Cocks won the tournament. After the Carolinas lost the All-Star game, then they dominated college that same season with the Lady Cocks. So you might want to watch on that South Carolina team. But I'm not seeing any of the Catholic Jesuit schools really up there for the women, so it must be something different. The UConn thing, the one thing I think about with them is their coach, Gino. He was at the Kobe Bryant ceremony in the Staples Center last year on February 24, 2020. But yeah, I'd have to do some research on what's going on with the women. But that South Carolina team's interesting to me because I just remember the last time they used them, it was the year of a big transgender thing. And this year is like the biggest transgender thing ever with this Equality Act that just happened. So here, I just got to see real quick how this Equality Act lines up with the championship date, because it looks like it's on April 4th for the women. So let me see, 4/4/2021. It's 38 days later. I'm going to have to do some thinking on that. I'm not sure about the women's right now. I don't have a definitive answer, but I'll do some more thinking on it.
All right, I appreciate everything you do, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. You have a good night. Yeah, but just the way they like to do news and sports together, man, I wouldn't be surprised if that South Carolina team had something interesting going on again. So UConn's 20-1 right now. Indianapolis is 2-1 where the men's is. So it is interesting that UConn started 20-1. That's not something to be overlooked. Let's see. Caller?
Yeah, I was just calling about that Dixie 400. I was laughing because that caller basically had done what a number of people, I think even the so-called Gematria community had done, and bet on Bubba the previous race of Daytona. Some of us put a few on him, and we should have obviously went the love car. But what's funny is that we're on the 59th day for that day, and Bubba has the Michael Jordan connection in his 58th year, which means he's in his 59th year of life. And Bubba is 28 and 107 in his thing. And I remember you were saying that those numbers to look out for.
He has those numbers. Bubba Wallace has the 28 and 107?
28. Yeah, and then we're February 42nd month. It's the last day. Because the thing that happened with us is that some of us, and I know you weren't against it, we bought into the hype that, okay, they might let a black guy, win the Daytona 500 thing. And so some of us came off him. So the odds on him now are way higher because no one thinks he's going to do it since he didn't come through last time. And I'm like, this is the perfect race since he has the better narrative. He has the black history narrative, the Jordan connection in his 59 year with the 59 owner. You have Denny Hamlin, who's a 50, who has a 56 on him, who's also his co-owner.
I just got to say, you're right on with this. The fact, the 59 thing is a big deal because 59 is a number they do so many rituals with black people. You're right. It is the 59th day of the year. So that's a really good observation. Okay, and I see the 28-107 too in Bubba.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 and 107. I was just like, okay, you're 59, you have the connection, you're in the 42nd, we have February 42nd, the last possible day they could do it. I'm like, this would have been the perfect day to pull it off.
The race is on the 144th day of his age as well, which is that big Jesuit order time number, exactly. So that's also interesting. That's also interesting right there.
I mean, obviously Logano and them have the 107 and 20, but the thing I'm like is like they don't have the actual narrative as strong as this, and especially with such a figure, because both his owners are thing. It's Hamlin and Jordan is his owners.
So Jordan's part of him, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah. So and Jordan's been big on him. They've been doing the media rounds, but the thing was, people thought that okay, they might give it to him on the 500.
He's from Mobile, Alabama, too, and that's where one of the Jesuit universities is. So he's from Jesuit town. It's on his 144th day of his age. There was a rapper from Mobile, Alabama, whose grandparents just burned up in a fire last week.
Yeah.
So he's never won a race, huh?
No, So they've been holding off, and people thought they were going to give him the bigger one. So that's why the odds went down and the media fanfare went off, even though, yeah, people still know the Jordan and Hamlet connection. For me, I'm thinking that was the bait that they were giving. For some of us in the true community, we thought, and the general public, we thought Bubba might do it at Daytona 500 so that they'd get him on the 59th day. When we think we're already off him because we think, okay, he's not going to be able to pull it off. And obviously you have obviously Logano and them who have better odds and who are more established drivers. But I'm like, wait a minute, what's the odds that they get on the 59th day?
Well, here's another thing to think about. Mr. 59 in golf just had a big wreck. Tiger's 59 and Woods is 59. So that could even actually be part of the riddle.
And Jordan and Tiger are best buds down there. So it's just, for me, I was just like, that's at least a narrative because, people only saying Logano and I think Briscoe. But I'm like, this guy also has a better narrative with his 28 and 107.
Yeah. I find it very interesting. I like the 59th day of the year thing. I wish I knew more about NASCAR, but he is from Jesuit.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, you know what?
I'm just like, damn,
His full name, William Darrell Wallace Jr., is also 153. Jesuit order is 144 forwards, 153 in reverse. So he's got a nice little Jesuit thing. And on the most perfect day of Black History Month to have his breakout.
Yeah.
I mean, that is kind of how they do things.
I mean,
so.
at the worst case, I'd say top 10, top 5 finishes is safe. Play probably to do.
Yeah, I could see him doing well on the 59th day there.
Just because I know you've been telling us. Because for me, I wouldn't even have thought of it until I realized that Jordan's 58. I'm like, wait, Zach tells us that when you're 58 or something like that, you're in your 59th year. And I'm like, okay, that connects with the Jordan 59 even perfectly. Then next year when he'd be technically in his 60th year.
What's the name of this race tomorrow?
Dixie 400.
Dixie, so okay. Dixie 400. Here, let me just see what that word Dixie equals. You look at that, Dixie.
Yeah, it's 51, 33, 84.
Well, it's got that Jesuit connection to it. It does have an 84 in it, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I like the 30 that I saw because we know that
that's a slavery number, right? Slavery, yeah. So that's true. Yeah, that could be.
The news that he had.
How let's go back and see something real quick because he did have that whole news story. I just want to see what day that was. It was real close to when they banned the Confederate flag. It might have even been like June 10th.
Which would have the Dixie connection, yeah.
News found on the Bubba Wall's garage at Talladega. It looks like that was June 21st. That story broke June 21st. I just want to see how many days that was before the race. June 21st. It was 36 weeks before the race. I don't know if that fits in 36. IHS, I guess, is 36. I guess so that Jesuit thing would be there. Their logo, IHS, is 36. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if for him to put his mark on the board, have his breakout day on the 59th day of the year, I mean, that's just one of those numbers they like to use as possible.
The mistake I made was thinking that they were going to give him, the 500 or whatever. I should have looked at the love connection.
Yeah, man, I wish somebody would have called in about that love scar.
Just break him in with this, and then it'll be a big national story for, he did this, the last day of Black, because, they're not going to make the Jordan connection. They'll just go the Black History Month route. And then it'll set him up for the future, because I'm pretty sure they want this guy to be good. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep parading him and have him with Jordan and Hamlin.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. He's got to have his, and since with the Jordan connection, the 59th day of the year, that strengthens the chances of this happening. So again, I don't know enough about NASCAR, but I know about 59. Yeah.
Yeah, I just told you at least top 10, top 5 if you're really big on Logano and Brisk, because I think those, I would have them in my top 5 too, but I think he has a good shot to place well, at least. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I think you make some great points, so appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, man. You have a good night. Okay, yeah, you guys are doing a great job today with the calls. I'm impressed. Every call's been good today. Dixie 400. Again, I am not a NASCAR expert. Homestead, Miami Speedway. Again, sometimes there's a big clue there. Homestead, Miami Speedway. 233, the 51st prime. What did I just see with 51? I know I just had a 51 up on the screen. Dixie's 51. Okay, that's what it was. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, so you were talking about UFC. There's one tonight. It's UFC 186, I think. It's a fight night. But it's also called UFC Vegas 20. And when you write it out with words, it's 191, 56, 187, and 70.
Okay.
And then so just before like this fight, like earlier in the week, Raoni Barcelos, he tested positive for COVID and had to pull out of the fight, and his name equals 201. So the main fight tonight, there's a guy fighting, and his name is Cyril Gane. And like in the first four ciphers, there's nothing that stands out, but in reverse, Francis Bacon, it equals 201. So I'm wondering what if you think that's like a sign maybe, but like it is a weird cipher.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to look at it more. Again, when I look at a fight, I want to make sure I've turned over all the stones I need to before I make a call. What was the fighter again who tested positive with the COVID?
Okay, his name is Raoni, and then his last name is Barcelos. But you have to include his middle name to have it equal 201.
Sorry, you said his name so fast. Raonin.
Raoni.
Barcelos. Barcelos. Okay, I got him. Raoni Barcelos. Okay. Yeah.
His middle name is Mendoza, and then altogether it's 201.
Okay. I see he tested positive on 222, and Wuhan coronavirus is 222. But yeah. Yeah.
And then UFC Vegas 20, like
Go ahead.
Yeah, the UFC Vegas 20 written out, like that's all the Jesuit numbers, right? 191, 56, 187. And then so Cyril Gane, he's the main fighter, and in reverse Francis Bacon, his name equals 201. So I'm just thinking that they're trying to like that there's like a big Jesuit thing going on here. So that's what I'm trying to ask your opinion on this Cyril Gane guy with his name equaling 201.
But he's not going to fight, right?
No, Cyril Gane is.
Oh, he's going to fight.
Raoni Barcelos is out. And I'm just like drawing like connections through this fight. It might be like coincidental, but
yeah.
So Cyril Gane is spelled Cyrylgane.
Okay. But yeah, again, I'm just like I gotta, decode the fight, and that takes like 20 or 30 minutes. So that's why we're talking more about futures and things going on tonight right now. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, man.
I want to let you know that I decoded NHL on the 56. Every single game that could go 5 and 6 home or away, or 56 all time. Every single game hit it.
On what day was that?
On the 56th day.
On the 56th day, yeah, the 5-6 rituals. That's exactly how you do it. I mean, you just look for the theme of the day, and if there's a bunch of games that fall that way, you know that's what's up. So, yeah, great work. That's how you do it.
But that's what I want to ask you, too, is that actually the numerology and the date switch there, it trumped the Gematria on some of the games.
Sure, it was just the 5 and 6. It was the 5 and 6 thing on the 56th day of the year is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gematria didn't really matter.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Sometimes you just got to look at the theme. And 5 and 6, I mean, just fits right in. And so, again, it's just you got to see what the number pattern is. And a lot of times, yeah. So, I mean, you recognized it, and that's the way it was. It makes sense.
One other thing I wanted to ask you. You said in another episode that in that date duration calculator that some of the things are bunk in there. Which of them are bunk? Like he said, he made his own. I think I know which ones they are.
So if you guys read chapter 1 of my new book, Number Games, near the end of the first chapter, there's the 4 ways to decode date numerology. Those are the 4 methods I recommend using. So if you just download Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus and just scan through the first chapter, right near the end, I show the 4 ways to break down date numerology. Those are the 4 methods I always use for sports and everything else.
Okay, I'll look through the book. Okay, thanks a lot.
It's near the end of chapter 1. So you'll see it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
See you, man.
Thanks.
But yeah, I just, like, I don't want to decode a fight tonight because, I mean, I don't want to sit here and decode for 20, 30 minutes, get everything out there. I mean, it's just too much time. I want to talk about futures and getting some ideas for what's coming. If you guys want to call in with thoughts on the night, but again, I just don't have enough hours in a day right now. What's up, caller?
Zach?
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay, I got, so, in 2023, it's the 105th Stanley Cup, and the Leafs right now, they have 13 Stanley Cups, and 105 is the,
105 is the 14th triangular number.
Yes. And it would be 56 years since the Leafs last won a Stanley Cup, from 1967.
Wait a minute. The Maple Leafs have not won the Stanley Cup for 56 years?
No, they haven't won for, what would it be now? They haven't won since 67. So in 2023, which is the 105th Stanley Cup, it would be
56 years.
56
I
years.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you
And
know what though? So that
also-
means this year would be 54 years, right?
Yeah. But
That's
it
interesting.
wouldn't line up with the 14 and the 105.
What? Oh, are you saying the 105 14th triangular number because end equals 14 to end the drought? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it would be 56. So it would be the 105th Stanley Cup in 2023 because this year's the 103rd Stanley Cup.
Okay. The one thing I was going to say about the 54 years right now, what is interesting about that, because there is somebody who's real big on the Leafs winning this year, 54 fits in with 56, because Jesuit Order is 54, Society of Jesus is 56. Like Tiger Woods is 54, and on the 54th day of the year, he got in the bad accident on his 56th day of his age. And remember, Canada hasn't won since 93. Jesuit Order is 54, Sun is 54. Their logo's the Sun. And again, the Sun 93 million miles away. So Toronto with the 54 thing, it might be something to entertain. Again, I haven't done my homework on hockey. I just know there's a guy who's real big on Toronto this year. But go ahead.
In 93, it was the Canadians that won it, and it was, would it be 27 years ago now? What would that make it?
Well, 2021's 28 years later, but they might have had a lockout season in there, so it might end up actually being 27 season. I got to go back and check.
It would be 103 would be the 27th prime, and it's the 103rd Stanley Cup.
Okay.
And I got this guy I've sent you who's on Free to Find Truth, and also through the Patreon, but I don't know if you saw it. So this guy, Igor Sharangovich, so he was drafted 17th in the 5th round, which is the 141st overall pick. Okay? And from his birthday, the day he scored his first goal was 141 days. So his birthday is June 6th, and he plays on the Devils, so it's like 6-6. And then he's wearing number 17. He scored his first goal on January 16th. 1 plus 6 is 17. He has 17 letters in his name. He played 17 minutes that game. He scored with 1.7 seconds left in overtime. Also, the Devils had a day, or February 3rd, 17 players on the Devils tested positive for coronavirus.
Huh. Interesting.
Also, if you looked him up on Google, there's a picture of him wearing number 55, like Satan is 55. And he's born in the capital of Belarus, Minsk. If you write out Minsk in English ordinal, it's 66, like his birthday.
Okay.
But he was wearing 17 when he scored the goal. So, like the 55, I don't know why he's wearing 55 on the Google. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Appreciate those observations. Thank you.
Pleasure.
All right. Have a good night, man. I got to go back and I got to figure this out because it's the 104th season, but the 103rd Stanley Cup. So I was just going back 56 years, but I'm not sure if this is going back 57 or 56 years because this was the 47th season, which is related to time, like the number 93 is. I just see that the Stanley Cup that year was Toronto and Detroit. And there were 70 games played. Remember, coronavirus is 56 and 70, so there could be some riddle like this. What's up, caller?
Yes. So I just wanted to point out for the NASCAR for tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. So I have Bubba Wallace pulling out the win, and the reason that I say that is, so Bubba Wallace was connected to the Daytona 500 winner McDowell. If you go back to the date in which Bubba Wallace actually was taken out of a race because McDowell ran into him and took out his bumper. And it was last year it was July 15th, 2020. McDowell crashed into Bubba Wallace and taken out his bumper. If you look up the cipher for bumper has a cipher of 33 and 87. And McDowell has a cipher of 33 and 87. And then if you do from that date to the date that he crashed to tomorrow's race, it's 228 days. Bubba has 28, Wallace has 42 and 21, and then obviously February has 42.
You're saying, wait, hold on. You're saying from the day that this incident happened with these two drivers to tomorrow's race is 228 days later?
Correct.
Okay, what stands out to me about the number 228 is just with the whole Black history rituals, Martin Luther King Jr. is 228 and United States of America is 228, so that's interesting.
So I'm going to go deeper. It goes even further deeper as to why 228 matters, right? So I did extensive research on this. So now mind you, tomorrow, so Bubba Wallace is connected to Danny Hamlin and also Michael Jordan, right? So I'm going to go into why those two matter for tomorrow. So tomorrow's a 59th calendar day. Michael Jordan's 59. And then one of the other, in one of the chat rooms you have, Danny Loj, he said that tomorrow's the 23rd installment of this race. And so the 23rd car, 23 to Michael Jordan, 23. And then also Bubba Wallace drives number 23, right? Now, if you look at tomorrow's race, it's called the Dixie Vodka 400. And then if you look at the cipher, that has 54 in it. And then the racing, Wallace drives for the Jordan and Denny Hamlin Racing, which is 23XI Racing. And if you look at the Gematria on that, it has 54. Now, going even deeper, the racetrack for tomorrow that it's on is Homestead Miami Speedway, which has a Gematria of 233. Now, to go deeper into that, this connects Jordan and Bubba again. From Jordan's birthday, February 17th, to Bubba's birthday, October 8th, it's 233 days. And then to connect Bubba to Denny Hamlin.
Wait. Hold on. The 233 is important because the race is Homestead Miami Speedway is 233. And what was that 233 connection again?
It's between Jordan's birthday, which is 217.
Right.
To Bubba Wallace's birthday, which is 10/8.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, it's also important to note that Jordan and Denny own that raceway, right? They own the 23XI Racing. So if you look at Bubba's birthday, which is 10/8, and you look at Denny's birthday, it's 42 days away.
42:59. Okay.
So then it ties into February. Okay. And then I'm going to go deeper. So if you search up from Bubba Wallace's first win, which was October 26th, 2013, if you take tomorrow's date, 2/28/21, and you take that total, you have 383 weeks, which is the 76th prime.
Right.
Michael Jordan, 76.
Yeah, 59 forward, 76 in reverse, just like the word Negro and slave. They're both 59, 76 like that. Huh.
Now I'm going to go deeper. It even goes deeper. So the name of the race that he won the first race was Kroger 200. If you put in Kroger 200, it's 76, just like Michael Jordan. Now, in that race, he led 96 laps, right? He totaled 48 points, and he drove Toyota. So all those, the Toyota equals 96.
Yeah, it does.
And then February equals 96 and 48.
And the divisors of 42
now,
sum to 96, so those numbers have a relationship, 42 and 96. Okay.
Now I'm gonna go deeper. If you look at the car number he drove that day, he drove number 54, which ties it back to Dixie Vodka 400, which is 54, and 23XI Racing, which is 54. And just to go deeper, why that makes sense too is Denny Hamlin, he races the number 54 in his truck series. So all of those tie back. So now I'm going to go deeper. Mind you, I'm not a NASCAR guy. I just joined your Patreon a couple days ago.
Did you mention that Dixie Vodka 400's 10-8, like his birthday 10-8?
No, I didn't.
So that's interesting too.
I think someone else pointed that out though.
Okay.
So if you go from the date of that race, which is 10/26, to 10/26 was the first race he won, 10/26, and you go to Michael Jordan's birthday, which was 2/11.
Hey, just on the surface, the race is 11 days after Jordan's birthday, and Denny Hamlin's in the number 11 car. So that's
yes.
another
Hold
thing.
on, I'll get there. Yes, exactly. Now, not only that, so you have Michael birthdays. So from his first race to Michael Jordan's birthday, it's 257 days.
56
now,
prime.
if you put in Joe Gibbs Racing is 257, and that's who Denny Hamlin races for, is Joe Gibbs Racing.
Okay.
So from Bubba Wallace's first race that he won, which is 10/26, to Michael Jordan's birthday, which is 2/11, is 257, and Joe Gibbs Racing is 257. And mind you, Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan are connected because they own Bubba Wallace's racing team, right?
I see.
Now, it goes deeper than that. So if you look at that race on 11/26/2013, Denny Hamlin also started in the first position, just like he did tomorrow. He's in first position tomorrow as well.
Okay.
And then also for the same year, so we're going back to, and then just a side note, I just seen someone post.
Hey, I got to interrupt and just chime in. So I just noticed that the last Dixie 500, the last Dixie Vodka 400 race was on June 14th, 2020. That's what it says here on the Wikipedia for this. So what's interesting is from that race to this race is 259 days later, and Black Lives Matter equals 259. So that could also be part of the ritual going on here. But go ahead.
Yes, exactly. I had that too. Thank you for making that note. Now, to include with this one, I think I just seen it just recently because, like you've been saying, that the news and sports all tie together, right?
Right.
They just passed the COVID-19 1.9 million relief
trillion.
package, right?
Trillion, yeah.
Well, trillion, whatever it is. So Bubba Wallace is starting in the 19th position tomorrow.
Okay.
I just seen that right now.
Okay.
Also, if you look up so Jordan won his third championship on 6/19/93, right? Bubba Wallace was born 10/8/93. So if you look at the final game of the championship, which is 6/19, they beat the Suns, and you look at 10/8, you do that stretch, it's 111 days. Kyle Busch Motorsports is 111 days. If you spell out Kyle Busch Motorsports, and that ties in back to Kyle Busch Motorsports was who Bubba Wallace was racing for when he won the championship.
I see.
Now, full circle. Okay, so Jordan bought his home. If you go and you put into Google Michael Jordan buys massive North Carolina home for a great deal. Okay, just like you were talking about the Black History Month, right?
Okay.
So he bought, now this full circle, this blew my mind when I seen this. He bought this home in North Carolina February 28th, 2013. The same year Bubba Wallace won his first championship. And if you type out Michael Jordan buys massive North Carolina home for a great deal, it equals 246. Black History Month, 246.
Okay. I thought Bubba Wallace hadn't won any big event yet.
No, it was his first first win. It was in the truck series, so it wasn't even. He's never won a major title. I've seen, but it was in the truck series.
I see.
Now, so 246 is in that is Michael Jordan buys massive North Carolina home for a great deal, and he bought it on February 28th, 2013. And if you put that in, you have a code of 246, Black History Month 246, and then also ties back into Kyle Busch Motorsports 246. And then Kyle Busch Motorsports is who he was racing for when he won his first race.
Okay.
Now, this is there's two more points. So, for Michael Jordan's national championship in North Carolina, he won it on, and I think this might play into Georgetown. You're mentioning Georgetown, right? It's the first Jesuits. It's the oldest Jesuits school in the U.S., right?
Right, correct.
So I know that's key that the Jesuits are always involved. So Michael Jordan won his national championship against the Jesuit Georgetown.
Right.
And they did that on March 29th, 1982. Now, if you take March 29th, 1982, and you go to tomorrow's race, it's 467 months. Okay? Now, why is that important? It's 467 months. If you put in the last race that Bubba Wallace won, it was the Maestro's Classic Beard Wash and Butter. And that, if you put that in, it's MAESTROS, Classic Beard Wash and Butter. If you put that in, it equals 467.
Huh, wild. That's interesting. Yeah, that's wild.
So,
yeah, I got what I noticed that's bizarre about the race is I see that this race was always in November, and then last year because of COVID it got moved to June 14th, which is the flag's birthday and Donald Trump's birthday. And then this year it's at a very different time, February. So the fact that they're doing that, again, I really like that it's 259 days later for Black Lives Matter, and then it's the 59th day of the year. Michael Jordan 59, and he's connected to Hamlin and Jordan, and Hamlin won it last year. So to me, those are the strongest things going for Wallace, just that little triangular relationship right there.
Correct. And, I mean, it also goes deeper. It plays, I mean, I think when I was digging in, it was just like, it just was crazy how it went full circle. Jordan was not only connected to this race, but he was connected to his other races that tie into this race. And if you look into, like you said, from Jordan's birthday to the race, it's 11 days. And you can see now one thing too, why Michael Jordan and Hamlin, if you look at his, let's see. Okay, so Denny Hamlin, he has a gematria code of 119 and 56. And if you look at, where is it? 119, 56. 1 second.
God, you know what? It's messed up. It's 102 days after Denny Hamlin's birthday, and slavery's 102 and the N-word. So you have all these things lining up with the slave numbers and Black Lives Matter for tomorrow. So yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
I got one more note. This is the last one. It ties in Denny Hamlin to Michael Jordan, right? So Denny Hamlin, if you type that in, it's 119 and 178. If you type in Charlotte, North Carolina, is 119 and 178. And why that's important is because on 228, Michael Jordan bought his house in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he bought it for $2.8 million.
Okay.
On 2/28.
And now the 28th day
in
of February.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yes, in Charlotte, NC, and mind you, the governor or senator of North Carolina, if you put in her name, it has 42 gematria. It's Miles Atkins. She has 42 in her name, 42, which ties into the Black History Month of February.
Okay. Yeah.
Miles Atkins.
Oh, hey, by the way, Homestead, Florida, where this is, Homestead, Florida equals 277, the 59th prime. So that's another 59 thing going on there just with the location of the race. Homestead, Florida.
Okay, you put in Homestead, Florida, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot there. I see what you guys are saying with this Bubba Wallace thing. I mean, that would be the perfect Black History Month tribute. So, yeah.
But, yeah, that's all I got, my friend.
All right. Good work. Appreciate it. See you, man.
Thank you.
Okay, you know who's been trying to call in is young Ben. He keeps being runner-up every time somebody calls in. I will call Ben back because Ben's got some burning thought for us. Hopefully he's still out there. Unless he had to go. Maybe we missed him. But every time somebody's called in, his call's been right behind every time. It's too bad. Maybe he doesn't have any more time. College man, it might have been time to party with the ladies.
Hello.
Ben, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hi. Well, you called me, but it was good to hear from you. But I was doing a little bit more research on the MLB, and I found out that I was looking for something because Bo Bichette is one of the young stars on the Blue Jays, and his father was Dante Bichette.
Oh,
who
yeah.
played most of his career for the Rockies.
Yeah.
And Troy Tulowitzki was traded from the Rockies to the Blue Jays back in 2015, and he played for the Blue Jays for a few years.
Huh.
And I looked at, in the full name, Troy Trevor Tulowitzki equals 117.
Huh. Crazy.
Yeah.
How do you spell that last name? Troy Trevor who?
Tulowitzki.
I don't remember that.
Tulo.
I got him here. Got him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So he was a star shortstop for the Rockies for like 10 years.
I don't remember
and
this
then,
guy.
You don't remember him?
I don't remember this guy. No, I do not for some reason. I don't remember him at all. Okay.
Oh, no, he was big he was like an all-star and everything. He was traded to the Blue Jays in 2015. And then he was with the Blue Jays when they played against the Royals in the ALCS that year.
Oh, okay.
When the Royals went on to win the World Series. But Troy Trevor Tulowitzki is 117, and he was a shortstop, and Bo Bichette kind of succeeded him as the shortstop. So there's something going on with Toronto and Colorado.
Huh.
I'm not exactly sure what. Again, I don't think Colorado's going anywhere as far as winning the World
They're
Series.
in the wrong division. So.
No, they're not going anywhere. Especially, they got not only the Dodgers who are probably going to be there anyway, but also the Padres. So.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed is that Dante Bichette equals 235, and the World Series starts 235 days after Bo Bichette's birthday.
Huh. Wild.
There's like some.
What is the World Series start date this year, Ben?
October 26th, which was another reason I thought the Yankees could be there, is because it's the 26th and
they won their 26th championship in history on that day, October 26th.
Yeah, they did, and the Yankees is 26, and there was like a bunch of stuff with them, and the White Sox. Honestly, I was kind of leaning more towards the Chicago White Sox, and I'm still not really sure about the AL, but I agree with the Dodgers and the NL for sure. I mean, Dodgers being 117 and they're the favorite anyway. I mean, that seems like a done deal.
Yeah.
But the AL's a little tricky. It could be one of those three. Because I did see that Toronto equaled 117, but I did not know that Springer signed a 6-year deal in 21 when 21's the sixth triangular.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I did some more research. So the Blue Jays aren't going to be playing in Ontario this year because
COVID.
Ontario, they're not allowing people to cross the border. So, but they're playing at their spring training field in TD Bank, which is TD Ballpark in Florida. And think about, like, you know what's funny? I remember my grandmother used to have an account with TD Bank, and I would always go there as a kid, and she used to call it the Touchdown Bank as a joke. But I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, Touchdown Bank, TD Touchdown, Brady just, won the Super Bowl in Florida with the Florida team. I know Jeremy White pointed out the Florida connection there. I saw it on Free to Find Truth, but TD Ballpark, TD Bank, TD actually stands for Toronto Dominion Bank.
Huh.
But here's the thing: you were talking about 275 at the beginning of the stream. Toronto Dominion Bank equals 275.
Huh.
And I'm wondering if there's just something there because you said you were looking for a clue for tennis, but I just wanted to point that out. Toronto Dominion Bank 275. Touchdown Bank, Brady, Banks. Money, currency, and all that stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
I can't find the actual date that Springer was traded. The earliest date I can see is January 20th, but most of the articles are from January 23rd. Because I wondered, honestly, I'm looking for something
Hey, look at this. The field used to be called Dunedin Stadium at Grant Field, which also equals 275.
Huh.
The old name of the field is Dunedin Stadium at Grant Field, 275 as well. There has to be something going on with that. I know sometimes, that's why I feel like sometimes the people watching my YouTube channel, they're trying to give me hints. But 275.
Yeah, I just saw, I don't know if there's any Canadian tennis stuff going on, but
well, the number could just be some bigger thing that we're not seeing right now that has to do with a whole lot more. But okay.
I'm trying to think. What's October 2nd is the 275th day of the year. 102. There could be something that day. Trump got COVID on that day, right? And then there was
federal government's 275. That's the only thing I know in Gematria that's 275. I'm sure there's other things, but I just know federal government's one.
Yeah. I can't get this thing to work. I mostly wanted to point out that the Tulowitzki connection, because Tulowitzki was the shortstop before Bo Bichette, and then they had the connection to Colorado through Dante Bichette. And then the whole TD Bank thing really stood out to me as far as TD can mean touchdown, and Brady just won the Super Bowl there in Florida, and Florida versus LA. Brady played LA in the Super Bowl not that long ago, so. Well, not LA. Well, actually, yeah, it was LA Rams. So.
Yeah. So you're sure the World Series starts October 26th this year?
Yeah, it says it on their Wikipedia page. It doesn't say on. Yeah, it says so. MLB season 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, it said October 26th. Yeah. October 26th and a potential Game 7 for November 3rd. See, that's another thing, too. I thought there might be there could be something really big with Kobe Bryant here because the season starts on April 1st, 4-1, and Game 7, if it went there, would end on 1-1-3, 11-3. That was the day in history that Bryant made his debut, and it's also Kobe Bryant's obviously 1-1-3, so is the National Basketball Association. But there could be something there with Kobe, and obviously LA is probably going.
Indeed, because 4-1, LA 41, Kobe Bryant 41. Again, Mookie Betts came over right after Kobe's death. That was the first thing we clued into. But then the fact that Game 7's on 1-1-3, the big Kobe Bryant number.
Yeah.
So Kobe Bryant, they retired both of his jersey numbers 117 days after his birthday. It was also his 118th day of his age, the big Los Angeles number. But they did it against
Was that the day leaving 13 days left in the year? December 18th, 2017?
I'm saying the day that they retired Kobe's jersey numbers. It was a game Lakers versus Warriors, and his dad played for the Warriors. But it was 117 days after his birthday when they did it, and Golden State Warriors was 117 like Toronto. It just reminds me of the Steph Curry thing, playing Toronto, his dad's old team where he met his wife. So there could be some bigger.
Another thing too is that Kobe was drafted by Charlotte, which is a big banking hub, and then you got now the Blue Jays with TD Bank.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, this world's the season dates really do go with the whole Kobe thing, indeed. And then if somehow just the way that Toronto slips in there with the 117. Oh, you know what? Didn't Kobe had his Kobe scored his 81 points
scored 81
against
the
Toronto.
Raptors,
Yeah, that was against Toronto. So there's something going on here with this LA Toronto thing. Yeah, I'm liking this more and more the more we think about it. This LA Toronto World Series. So
yeah, I mean, I was like, because I like the Field of Dreams thing too. Which Field of Dreams is 117, but that could just be because it's the 117th World Series. That's why they waited.
Sure, a big ritual for that this year. Exactly, that could be all part of it. And I mean, to look at those teams too, we got to. But I'm really because George Springer, the fact that he went to Toronto this year, he's one of the biggest stars in the sport, and they already had a pretty young, solid team. So they have the right mix of things, and yeah, so.
Yeah, well, Toronto played California in the NBA. Well, we brought that up. And Florida, California. I'm trying to think more because the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Florida hockey team, won in Rogers Place. The Blue Jays normally play in Rogers Center. Now I'm not sure who that Rogers who. I don't know who that's named after.
Doing the search engine, looking for the Rogers Center answer.
What was Rogers Center named after?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
Ted Rogers. Okay. Ted Rogers. They announced a 3-year deal corporate contract to change the name of Sky Dome to Rogers Center on February 2nd, 2005. Okay. Well, who's Ted Rogers? That's what I want to know. Is he connected to banking? Because if he is, then that's... He died. Edward, is this the Edward S. Rogers Jr.? Is this who this is? Okay, yeah. Okay, so his full name is Edward S. Rogers Jr. Let's see. He was a Canadian businessman and philanthropist, and the president and CEO of Rogers Communications, and the 5th richest person in Canada. Does he have a bank?
Here, while you're looking that up, I just want to throw something out there to think about. So I noticed that from the first day of the season, April 1st to November 3rd, the potential last day of Game 7, it's 216 days later. And one of the main storylines for this year is that it'll be the final season of the Cleveland Indians. And again, Cleveland's the 216 area code, and there's 216 stitches on a baseball. So they're doing some riddle with that, and then the All-Star games in the Braves Park. So Braves, Indians, Natives. So there's something to think about with that. The Braves are the only team that I could see upsetting the Dodgers because their park has the 117 connection, but I still like the Dodgers narrative more. Go ahead.
When you're talking about Cleveland, I just want to go off on a slight tangent. I did some decoding today, and I thought that the Cavs would upset the 76ers, and I was correct. The Cavs won. They got to 13-21. It was a huge Freemasonic King James ritual. Freemasonry's 58. It was the 58th day of the year. They got their 13th win in a huge upset. King James became a king at 13 months old. They got their fourth away win on the 16 date. They got their 10-9 against the. Okay, I mean, there's a whole bunch here, really, but there was so much going on with here because King James. It was a King James ritual. LeBron passed Kobe in Philly, who's from there. Philadelphia. Philadelphia is is where Revelation. Philadelphia is named from Revelation, the book of prophecy. And 106 was that big number in the 2016 NBA Finals. and the Cavs picked up their 106th win against the 76ers all time.
Oh, prophecy.
And yeah, and Cleveland equals 78, and the 12th triangular, and they gave the 76ers their 12th loss. I mean, there was just a really big thing here going on. I didn't write down everything, but it was a big Freemason.
The Cavs stayed on 21 losses, Bible 21. So yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just. I'm glad. I wish I wrote more down, but I'm glad I was right about it. Yeah, they got their 106th win all time. Cavs stay on. Oh yeah, because I was looking at Saturn too, because Freemasonry and Saturn have something to do with each other. Philly can stay on. Oh, Saturday equals 109. That's another thing. But yeah, Philadelphia 76ers is 93. Saturn is 21 and 93. Oh, this is what the other thing. J.B. Bickerstaff, the coach of the Cavs, he stayed on 158 losses, and Freemasonry is 158.
Yeah, that's right.
And he picked up his 104th win, including the playoffs, and Jerusalem's 104. So, yep. So there was a big. So that was a big Freemason ritual, and the Cavs were a huge underdog. They were like plus 400.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And again, for people out there, these are things to know. Again, the Cavs are so King James's son was King Charles, and the people who fought for him in the English Civil War were called Cavaliers. So there's a big connection between King James and the Cavs, like why LeBron was on them, and one on the real King James's birthday. Again, these are riddles to know going forward, but King James died unexpectedly at age 58. Today's the 58th day of the year. They're playing the biblical city, Philadelphia, so I'm sure these are the things that clued you in to look at this game.
Yeah, I forgot he died at 50. Well, I knew it when I was decoding it, but I forgot to mention that. Yeah, he died at 58. Holy Bible, in 13, Holy Bible 45, 13, 45.
I see there was 56 points at the half, and King James Bible's 56. The Cavs had 56 points at the half.
Yeah, and it was a really low-scoring game too. But damn, it was definitely a bigger riddle there. The 106, the prophecy number, it just made too much sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get back to the baseball. But I just wanted to say that I'm glad I got that right. But so I'm looking at Edward S. Rogers Jr. Here, I'll run the gematria on his name real quick. There is a banking connection in his Wikipedia. I just need to Edward S. Rogers Jr. At 184.76. I don't see too much, but okay. So Rogers had been the owner of the Blue Jays Major League Baseball. Oh, he owned them. That's why the stadium's named from. Since September 1st, 2000, when Rogers Communications purchased 80%. Blah, blah, blah. Rogers Communications purchased 80% of the baseball club, with the Labatt Brewing Company maintaining a 20% interest, and the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce relinquishing its 10% share. Okay, so he kind of took over a bank's share of the stadium, I guess, or the team. Rogers Bank. Oh, okay. So he has. Never mind. He has his own bank. There it is. Rogers Bank.
Yeah, makes sense.
So he's got the Rogers Bank, the TD Bank. The whole Kobe thing with him being from Charlotte, the banking hub. And Toronto Dominion Bank. I mean, this couldn't be a Toronto Dominion Bank, a Touchdown Bank. I mean, everything is just lining up here. And I think we could see some. I mean, who knows? Maybe the connection will be some accounting firm in Colorado. I mean, because that would bring the whole. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out, but yeah, there's the banking connection with Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, that is very interesting. So, yeah, I think there's a lot there for Toronto and LA, and especially with the whole Kobe Bryant history. I'm gonna have to look more into that Kobe. Why would it be Toronto for Kobe's ritual for his career high? So.
When was the last time the Blue Jays? were in the World Series. Was it 93 with Joe Carter?
I think Joe Carter was the last time.
Yeah, it was 92 and 93 they won.
And that could be something with baseball because or not baseball, but hockey. Because hockey has...
They last won in 93, and didn't the last time the Canadian team won a hockey championship was 93?
Exactly. So there could be a connection there between the two sports.
93 and 21, Saturn, right?
Right.
There could be something Saturnian there.
Yep.
So how many years ago was that? It was 28 years ago. Perfect number. The first two perfect numbers are 6 and 28, and Springer signed a 6-year deal.
Yeah, I see 150 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50, I think I find something with 150. Yeah. Shortstop equals 150. He's not a shortstop, but
Outfielder.
Tulowitzki and Brissett. Outfield is 150?
He signed on January 19th. January 19th. So 19/1, like 191, Society of Jesus thing. Date was 61.
I'm measuring from that day to the start of the World Series now. It's 280 days later, or a span of 281. That's a number I was talking about with the White Sox and Yankees. Because
that's the 60th prime.
Yeah, there was something going on. Oh, I know what it was. There was something going on with Shoeless Joe Jackson in 281 and Kevin Costner from the film. They might not be related, but what about to Game 7?
You know what's weird is from that day to Game 7 is 288 days, and that was the big number with the ritual. Well, that was a big ritual with the Bucks winning the Super Bowl. They got their 288th franchise win in Raymond James Stadium, which equals 288. And then again, there was the Chadwick Boseman death, which was synced up. He died on 28/8. So could be something going on there with that.
Yeah, there could be. And plus, it's 41 weeks in one day, which would bring the whole Kobe thing full circle because it's the 41.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm liking the Blue Jays more and more now that I look at it. So
yeah, they're a good 117 city. That's the thing. So
yeah, they got the 117, and now they're playing in Florida, which has been a hot spot for championships recently, and now this whole banking thing. It makes a lot. It just makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'm not completely sold on it because I still like the Field of Dreams thing, but Toronto definitely looks like, because I knew that Toronto equaled 117, but I didn't look too closely at it because I just always thought of them as having fallen off since they had their little run there in the mid 2010s. They went to the ALCS 2 years in a row and lost to Kansas City and Cleveland back to back.
Yeah.
But
the World Series begins 37 days after his birthday. That's the cleanest Los Angeles number, 37. So that's also interesting. If you played LA.
And then they mentioned Philadelphia in Revelation 3:7, and that was the California connection because the Warriors and the Liberty Bell. But yeah.
Well, really good observations, Ben. Good research.
No problem. Have a good night.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
You know what's weird? Look at that. From September 19th, 2020, his birthday, to the day he signed with Toronto, it was 122 days. Remember what day Kobe had his career high against Toronto? It was January 22nd. He scored 81 in his 666th game. That 122. So, caller?
Young Zach, what's going on with you, brother?
What's up, man?
Man, nothing, man. Okay, check this out. Two things I ran across talking about the NFL, the futures on the NFL, right?
Right.
So if you type in this year's, I'm sorry, that's my baby girl.
That's
if
okay.
You type in this year's date, February 7th, 2020, and then you go to next year's date, February 6th, 2022. I say 22.
Oh, how
They got the
you're saying
Dallas-
next year's Super Bowl's on February 6th?
Yeah, on February 6th. If you look at the numbers, the date numerology, it's almost identical. Now, of course, leap year, that affects it, but still, for them to put it on almost, it's got the 50, the 14, the 12, same exact.
I see.
Numerology,
Same date
for,
numerology. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then if you type in this now, Zach, I don't know if you ever found something like this, but I have never, and I've only been following you since Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Been aware of Gematria since Kobe died. So right. So if you type in the calculator, if you type in Sunday, February 7th, 2021, which was this year's Super Bowl, and then you type in Sunday, February 6th, and the TH on each end.
2022. It should be the same. It should be the same because it'll have the same numbers in it. Yeah, because it's the exact same numbers, so it makes sense why. But yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know if you ever seen it, but yeah, it's in all ciphers though. It's like that. It's the same in all ciphers. But yeah.
Were you here earlier when I noticed how since the Super Bowl's in the Chiefs building or not the Chiefs building, but it's in the Chargers building, how the Chargers have 56 regular season wins against the Chiefs right now all time?
No, I just jumped onto the
Okay, so that was just another thing we noticed.
Yeah.
That's the only team right now that the Chiefs has 56 wins against, and they're hosting Super Bowl 56. So the Chargers have 56 wins versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs can be in their building. Also, if you missed for anyone who missed the beginning of the live stream, a caller called in and pointed out really good observations. So the Rams, because the Rams and Chargers play in the same building that's hosting the Super Bowl next year, the Rams' very first home game in that building was against the Cowboys, and the Chargers' very first home game in that building was against the Chiefs. So,
okay.
Again, WrestleMania next year. WrestleMania next year is in Dallas, and it's exactly 56 days after Super Bowl 56 too. I'm watching to see if Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson end up on the Cowboys. I'd really like to see Wilson on there. If Wilson's on there, I think it's a done deal. I think that's your Super Bowl for sure. Cowboys Chiefs. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah. Okay. But let me ask you this. Did you see Kayla's decode when it came to Patrick Mahomes' baby girl?
The silver.
And how just how it synced up with the 2-6 and of course Super Bowl being on 2-6 and all that. I don't know if you check that out. It seemed like she really locked that in. So we, but yeah.
Well, here's what I was going to say. Since you brought that up, okay. Again, so Patrick Mahomes names his baby girl Sterling, which is related to silver. And then the next day, there's a huge ritual.
Daft Punk.
Exactly, Daft Punk, and then in their silver video, they show the number 56, and they won the 56th Grammys in tribute to the same costumes they're wearing in that video. So to me, all that looks connected. All of that looks really good for Mahomes to be in number 56.
Yes, sir. All right, then, man. We on the same page, bro. Keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Good observations. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
You know what, you guys? I told Sweet Lady I wouldn't go past 3 hours because she asked me to not talk too much. She's studying for the test. We're at the 3-hour mark right now. I think we got a lot of good information in this live stream. And again, you guys, I just scroll down the page if you're new here. You got the linked Gematria sheets for all the major sports. Really, I encourage you to study those sheets and get the numbers stuck in your head like the way they're stuck in my head. It'll help you scan over the games each day when you know the numbers in your head, which happens with repetition. Hold on, we got a call from Martin. But again, get these numbers in your head. It'll help you out. What's up, Martin?
Yes, I just wanted to mention something real quick that I seen earlier this week. So I wasn't sure if you were aware or if you talked about it earlier in the stream, but did you know LeBron James got his 101st all-time win with the Lakers on the 26th?
Finals 101, 101-26 prime. I didn't know that, but okay.
And also that it was the 57th day of the year, I believe.
Oh, NBA Finals 57. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and also, and I believe that I figured out when the finals is going to end, and I believe it's going to be July 20th, which is also looks like 7-2, which is like the reflection of 2-7 when the Super Bowl was on 2-7. I only say that because I think that's the 201st day of the year. And if you notice that in that game on the 26th, LeBron and the Lakers scored 102 points. And I remember you said 57.
Is that Game 5
go
by
hand in hand
chance? Is it Game 5?
Say that again.
Is it Game 5, July 20? Is it Game 5?
I didn't look at that. That's a good question. But I'm just thinking, and there's another thing that you were saying something about Daft Punk and the moon. And if you notice that July 20th is National Moon Day, and moon equals 57. It's gonna be the 75th, and reflection 57, and all that. And then it was another 58. It was 58 days after LeBron James' birthday when he won that game. And I think moon equals 58. I think Los Angeles Lakers equals 58. It's been 19 days, and I think that game happened 19 days after the Super Bowl. I didn't measure from the Super Bowl to July 20th yet.
Here, I'll do it right now.
I think I did. I think it's 144 days, which is another Jesuit number, I believe. And Tampa Bay, Florida is 144, and the Super Bowl was in Tampa Bay, Florida. So I'm starting to see how
it's what's interesting from the day the Super Bowl ended to the day July 20th is 163 days later, which is the 38th. Remember, there was a lot of 163 with the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs fell down to 16-3.
Exactly.
In Hebrew, moon equals 38. July 20th, by the way, would be Game 6. So okay, that could work. Game 6. But yeah, it's 163 days later, which could make some sense.
And National Moon Day equals 65, which is the reflection of 56. And you said LeBron James could become 5 and 6 in NBA Finals, and Black Lives Matter equals 56, coronavirus equals 56, et cetera, et cetera.
That's why there's that 56 is too hot. I can't go against the 56.
I'm definitely not going against it. It's just too stacked up right now. So I definitely think.
Look at this. You know what's wild, man? National Moon Day equals 232, and that July 20th date is 23 weeks and 2 days after the Super Bowl.
So I'm thinking that, yeah. So I really think that's when the game is going. So if we could put futures in, and Game 6 or whatever you said game that would be, I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's Game 6 because the last day of the finals is July 22nd, which would be 2 days later. So that's got to be Game 6.
Mm-hmm. And then you say 21 and 6 has some type of connection? You
20,
said this is 7,
yeah. Remember, 21's the 6th triangular number. That's why Saturn equals 21 because it's the 6th planet.
And there's 73 games this season, and this is year 21, so it makes kind of sense for my reason.
That's good. That's good. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's all I really had to call in about. So, and one more thing. People would be going to NBA games tomorrow. I would say look at the 59. The coaches, the black coaches, because tomorrow's the 59th day.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things. I think Rockets are locked because it's 6 and 7, and 7. You know how big that is with Black history and stuff. 6 and 7. So
7, 6, 5, 9.
So we'll see.
The July 20th is a Tuesday. And what's interesting about Tuesday is that's the day of the week named after Mars, which also has the 51-57 connection like Moon. And when they just did that Mars rover landing, the Moon and Mars were in conjunction. So all that stuff's probably related. So,
And I didn't measure it on how many days it is after Tom Brady. You know how Tom Brady and LeBron James are always connected. So I'm guessing, or before Tom Brady's birthday, et cetera, his 2020 birthday and 2021 birthday. I always try to do both just because you never know.
Yeah, and we definitely got to measure from LeBron's birthday the way they synced up. That's 3. So July 20th is 351 days after Brady's birthday, the 26th triangular number. Bryant's 26, so that could fit in.
You're right. Bryant is 26. You're right.
And because again, this is the 75th NBA season, and Kobe's 71. From LeBron's birthday to the moon landing day is 202 days later, which is a skull and bones number. Skull and bones is 202.
Exactly,
In Jewish gematria, the NBA Finals is 322, so it could be related. But yeah, I like the whole moon thing. That makes some sense. And
do you already have another date in mind, or did you think it was going to end on another game?
Look at this. You know what else is a trip about that? If you count the span of days from LeBron's birthday to that day, it's 6 months and 21 days. Like 21, the 6th triangular number. Lakers is 21, winning it in Game 6. So yeah, all that could work.
Yeah.
But yeah.
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 Yeah. So and he'll get his 5th championship. Is there anything relationship with 5? And 5. Yeah, and 6. Yeah, that makes sense right there. His 5th championship in Game 6. Perfect.
And, well, you know what else
Yeah.
I was going to say is when you add Kobe's name alone, Kobe equals 21, and it equals 50. It also equals 75, like 75th NBA season. But the fact that Kobe equals 15, when you add 1 through 5 together, it's also 15. So,
Fifth triangular.
yeah,
Or
15's the fifth triangular, and 21's the sixth. Yeah.
hmm So there's definitely some relationship with this. I mean, I'll look deeper in stuff. I'm not going to talk about the Dick Bieber because the guy before that just killed it with that. But which was hilarious. Did you see the chat about that? It was hysterical. But
I didn't because I had my eyes on the chat. But yeah, doing some good work tonight.
But the callers they were torched tonight. So, but that's all I really had to call in about. Appreciate those that keep it up. Did you see that one ticket I sent you in text?
You sent me. Is it today?
No, it was like maybe 2-3 days ago. I sent you this one ticket when I bet 1,000 on Cavs, and I think it was Philly on the money line. I won like 5,000. So
nice work. No, I did not see that. So great work, man. Great work. What did you? Oh, here I scroll back through your thing. Yeah, huge sweat. You said parlay 2 teams.
Yeah, huge
Cavs.
Sweat,
Cavs. So that was Hawks versus Cleveland, and 76ers Raptors. Nice, man.
Yeah, the riddle was the 69 thing. Atlanta 69 and Cleveland Cavaliers equal 69. Atlanta 69 always go hand in hand. So.
Yeah, job well done, man. Nice payout there.
Yeah. It was, yeah. So, all right then.
All right, great work, Martin. Keep it up, man.
Yeah, no. All right, man. You too. Peace.
Yeah. My problem is too many people have my phone number because as an idiot, when I did that live stream with Jay Campbell. He asked me what my number was on the air, and I was like, I shouldn't have done it. I should have said, I'll give it to you later. That would have been the smart thing to do, but now 1 million people have my phone number, and I get 1 million text messages a day, so I miss a lot of stuff. Since we started this live stream, it's funny that I'm on that number. Since we started this live stream, I have 47 new text messages. Like, I cannot keep up with all this crap. Yeah, let's leave it there, you guys, because we you know what? It's 7-Eleven out west right now. What a time. But I think this was a really good stream. There's a lot of good information here. If you got here late, you got plenty of time to go back over it. We're talking about things that are months down the road. We're getting the ideas out there right now, things to pay attention to, patterns to pick up on. But, yeah, futures is really the best use of this knowledge. Day-to-day games, it can be helpful, but, man, futures is where it's at. When you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you can get some nice futures and some big payouts. And, it's just like that gentleman from Baltimore earlier this year. He had a $100 ticket that was alive. It was going to pay out over 200 and some thousand. And he put it up on that site where you can put your slips up and people can bid on it. He got a $20,000 offer on that slip. And I told him, I said, man, you better sell that slip because you got the Ravens on there. I don't think it's going to be the Ravens. And he decided not to sell it because he wanted that pot of gold. But still, man, had he sold it, he would have made $20,000 on his $100 ticket. And again, that's the value of this knowledge. By getting ahead on the futures, a small bet can put you in the driver's seat to win really big. And he still finished out great because we ended up getting the Super Bowl dead on. He got a nice big payout on the Super Bowl, but, live and learn. And again, he had big balls. He was like, you know what? I want this $200,000. I'm going to write it out just in case, because worst case scenario, I only lose $100. But again, you be smart with this knowledge, you're going to end up ahead. And remember, the big mistake a lot of people make in this community is they win a good deal of money, and then they get so cocky, they end up making these huge bets and they give it all back. Don't do that. Just keep building. Tortoise in the hare. Just keep building. Don't get greedy. Don't try to be an overnight millionaire. Just build. And before I go, hold on. Let me check in with the chat real quick. I see Sonny's here. Sonny says we could do another hour or two. Yeah, we could, but if I go much later, Sweet Lady's going to be pissed at me, I'm going to tell you. What's up, everybody? Natalie, Dave, I see all the mods here. Jeremy's here. Jeremy says he's going to go decode. See, we'll talk. I think we're going to do another live stream next weekend for the futures. Hey, for all the new people here, good chance you get unsubscribed either tomorrow night or on the 1st. Every month, Patreon will kick off people and you have to resubscribe, so just beware. But I think we'll do another futures discussion. I'm going to look a lot more at baseball this week and make sure that I'm really feeling that Toronto-LA thing. Right now, that's where I'm at, but I want to look a little bit more at the Braves, especially with the Hank Aaron death, Because, again, the Braves do have a narrative. They're a team to think about, especially with them retiring the Cleveland Indians. So that's the only team I really see that could upset the Dodgers in the NL. And then what Ben pointed out with the Field of Dreams, I think that's the best riddle up against the Toronto thing. But next year, man, I'm telling you, in the 118th World Series, I'm pretty sure we're going to finally see the Angels put it together and play the Dodgers. I see an all-LA World Series in 118. That's 2 years away yet. But, yeah, I'm going to really zero in on the baseball. I think do one more live stream. Well, not one more, but just do another one next weekend just like this. And then, again, just like this, we'll talk about a main topic, but if people have other questions, observations, we'll do that. It'll be similar to this week. And eventually I'll be done with this book here, and then we'll get back to the grind. So, and we'll do March Madness heavy, basketball playoffs heavy. We'll do all that. So, all right, you guys, have a good rest of your night, good rest of your day. Again, don't go blowing all your money. Again, be the tortoise one more time. Disambiguation, you shouldn't have resubscribed today. Never resubscribe at the end of the month, you guys, because the way Patreon works is that it will always bill you on the first. So poor disambiguation. And disambiguation, let me know if you need a refund on PayPal or something, but it'll always bill you on the first. So if he really resubscribed today, which he said he did, so I'm sure it's true, he's going to get charged today, and then he's going to get charged on the first also. But then he'll just always get charged on the first. So if it ever does unsubscribe you during the month, which people have told me it's done before, and realize I don't have any control over how Patreon works. It's just a platform that I use. It's just like a third-party platform. But always just resubscribe on the first so you don't get billed in the middle of the month and then the first again, but it'll always renew on the first. And sometimes it'll kick you off at the end of the month or beginning of the month, and I don't know why that is either, but it does it to people every month. So, again, I think next weekend, and hey, before I go, let's do a vote in the chat. Do you guys like a Saturday stream better or a Sunday stream? What's the better day, Saturday or Sunday? So I'm going to pay attention and see what the stream says if I see more Saturdays or more Sundays. I have a feeling you guys might vote Sunday. And if that's the case, then I'll start doing Sunday. So the reason I did it, I would have done it tomorrow instead of today, but I didn't want, because sometimes it kicks people off on the last day of the month, so I didn't want people to get kicked off on the last day and then miss the stream, so I wanted to do it today before it starts kicking people off like it always does at the end of the month. Well, so far the votes coming in are Saturday. I don't even see a single Sunday. What do I know? Everybody's voting Saturday. Okay, I guess Saturday's the day. There's not a single vote for Sunday. I was wrong. I appreciate that, Natalie. Okay. Okay. Well, all right, there's one person who voted, well, two votes for Sunday, 3 votes for Sunday, but we got about 5,000 for Saturday, it looks like. All right, then we'll do, I see some of you guys are saying Sunday. One person said either. Well, it looks like the Saturdays have it. So we'll do another stream next Saturday. I'm going to zero in on baseball. I want to get a little bit more exact with that baseball future. That 216 days does have me thinking, man, with the Cleveland thing. I'm like, could they do a Braves thing with the native thing? So I'm gonna think about this week how Hank Aaron's death lines up with the World Series and all that, because there'll be some clues there. It very well could be a repeat in the NLCS of last year, Dodgers and Braves. I could definitely see that, because remember, it was all synced up with the Chiefs last year. The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl again. So, okay, next Saturday, and we'll probably do it, well, maybe we'll do it about this same time. I was going to do it at noon at first, and then I moved it to 4. I know you guys on the East Coast, it would have been 3, and then it ended up being 7. But my buddy Token Tim, he's back in the part of the season where he wants to go on hikes in the morning, so that's honestly why it got bumped. Went on a little hike with Token Tim this morning, but yeah, I'll give you guys a time for next Saturday. It'll either be noon Pacific or about 4 Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. I'll figure out one of those times again. So next Saturday, our next futures discussion, I'm going to look a little bit more at the women in tennis too. see if we can get some more clues like how the Serena and Djokovic seems to go at the U.S. Open. So, okay, you guys, good luck. Use the knowledge. And for the sports enthusiasts, we'll be back here next Saturday. All right, until next time, Truth Seeker.